We are live. What is up, my internet friends? Welcome to session 25 of Storm King's Thunder, titled The King of Sails. This is the RP Ginger here, and this is my friends who run this campaign with me. You all know them if you've been following the session. Or not the session. If you've been following the campaign, you know who all these people are, and they're all great players and great friends. So, without further ado, last session we left off in the city of Luskin, separated due to an inter-party argument between Warrendale and Sunlit. Once again, Warrendale found himself meandering through the back alley streets of Luskin, where his near fatal injury almost seen him in, but he met a strange little pirate girl by the name of Lily Arbuckle. And Lily decided that Warrendale was cool enough. Morgan wasn't cool enough, but Warrendale was cool enough to be part of her crew. But if he was going to be part of her crew, he couldn't be walking around with his intestines out. So they first went to have some pancakes to fill their bellies. No pun intended on the empty belly of Warrendale's guts. And then finally went to the Stay Sail Respite, a sewer hospital. The party on the other side of the city decided to go to the Arcane Brotherhood, where they met a man in the Hoss Tower named Valish the Brown. And Valish said, "Hey, Sunlit, I can cure you of your horrible ancient magic curse / disease that she is currently suffering from. But first, you're going to have to help me out." And from there, we bamfed basically to pirates attacking the sewer hospital that Warrendale was in. A fight broke out. Fireballs were cast. Innocent, injured people were killed. Lily Arbuckle was captured by the pirates, who apparently were staged to attack this place by the pirate king himself, Kurth. They were able to defeat those who were there. A couple of them got away with Lily, and that is basically where the session left off. They made their way out of the tumbling, crumbling sewer and had one captive person. And things started to get a little bit dark as we seen Warrendale step up and electrocute this man to near death and then bring him back to life and then execute him to near death. And the party all stared darkly, watching this unfold. For the scene that they just seen, their morality may be in question. We see this man, this pirate, sitting in a puddle of his own urine and water around a crumbled portion of Luskin. The city itself is dirty as is, but this area with the sewer caving in multiple places, causing a couple of buildings to fall apart and opening up to the bay, where you see a rupture, a quake in the middle of the bay, where a giant frost giant ship has been apparently sunk single-handedly by the King of Sails. You see this kind of scenic vision in the distance, this bay, the dock district just littered with hundreds of sails. That's why they call it the City of Sails, because literally you cannot see the water in the bay. There are so many ships, but in the distance you see that rupture in the ocean, and it's like a waterfall, like the Niagara Falls for anyone who knows it, falling in from all angles, and in the center of it is a giant ship. This man sitting in his own puddle, brought back to consciousness for probably the third time now. We look at Warrendale with a dark, cruel look on his face, and electricity jumping from fingertip to fingertip. You see Valish the Brown standing in the distance. Like, all right, guys, what are we going to do here? We're not just going to torture this man to death, are we? If you're going to kill him, kill him. If you're not, then come on now. This isn't what we signed up for.
I think after the third shock, Octavius would finally turn around, walk forward, grab the pirate out of the water, and Octavius would stand in the water holding the pirate up against the wall, and look at Warrendale and say something like, "That's enough for now. Too much, actually. What do you know, sir? Why did this happen?"
You muted, Chris?
Thank you. You pick him up, and he's just this gruff-looking man. He receding hairline with puffy bits of hair, all nappy and shooting out from every direction from the zappings that he's had. A big stain of dark liquid in his crotch area from being zapped multiple times, and he just says, I told you everything I know. We're just a bunch of pirates. Kurth sent us.
I'd heal him for like 10 points of health.
He's like, starts to whimper a bit. Like, what are you guys doing to me? Please. Baelish steps up. Like, see, the man, he's clearly told us what he knows. Kurth's a blood-hungry monster. He doesn't care who gets hurt. He just wants what he wants, and he'll take it. I reckon that he aims to kill that Lily girl, too. They're like rivals or something. Kurth killed his family, and I reckon he probably aims to finish off the girl.
I'm not so sure he's the only one that's a bit bloodthirsty here.
Well, yeah, I reckon his 10,000 men are also probably actually
Talking
more than
about
10.
you, sir.
Me? I'm just a wizard. What do you mean?
And she looks to the three of her friends and then looks back at him with a very puzzled look. You did something that makes me question you.
Well, we all do questionable things, but if you be meaning to get to a certain point, then go ahead and make it. Kind of puts his hand in his brown robes.
I think Octavius would jump in at that point and say, how did you know this was happening? How did you have that letter?
I knew it was going to happen because I have lots of agents out and about, and the pirates are constantly doing things. I've just been meaning to stop it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of what these pirates do. They take what they want, and I think the Brotherhood needs to do something about it.
These pirates seem to be more than pirates.
Well,
every one of them almost used magic.
So they're magic pirates. It's not that surprising, I reckon.
Are you sure?
Well, sure as I could be. He's like, what are you getting on about, Sonet?
Will you help us find the girl?
Of course I'll help you find the girl. That's what I'm here for. I'm Baelish. I'm here to save the day. I'm not going to let a girl get captured by some pirates and killed.
I think at this point Octavius would just toss the pirate aside to the right. Hopefully even up against the wall a little bit. Not to hurt him, but just to, basically let him know we're done with you. You can leave.
He starts to like back himself up like crab leg walking against the wall. And he's just looking at you all in fear.
Yeah, and a large furry hand goes down onto his head. And because he's a pirate, he probably has long hair. I pick him up by his ponytail. Oh, wow, we lost him, Mary. By the back of his ponytail and stand him up straight.
He whimpers.
And she gets right into his face. She has to bend down a bit, I believe, because she's taller than most people. So, this is what's going to happen here. First, you're going to tell me what your name is.
Name's Mate.
Right.
At least that's what they call me.
That's not the name that your parents gave you. Because my name is Sunlit in the Darkness. There's a lot of reasons for that. But, my friend here, the one that just saved your life, not the one that shocked the crap out of you. I've never seen him act that way before. And I think you're very lucky to be alive. So, meet. You're going to tell me where we can find your friends. Now.
You want to make an
And she picks
intimidation
him up
check?
a little bit by the hair.
You can make an intimidation if you'd like.
Sure, this is probably not going to be a great thing. That's not awful. Oh, no, it's awful. Ha!
Can
I just tried. I did the wrong thing.
I was gonna say, can I aid him in that? Maybe.
Yeah, sure. He's pretty scared anyways. Roll advantage.
Because that just kind of be coming up behind.
Yeah. As you come away, he kind of squirms even more. No, please, don't shock me again.
He's not going to shock you. As he picks. Yeah.
19.
And she's picked him up just enough so it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But
By the
not
pony?
to,
By the old pony? Ooh.
by the good old pony.
Yeah, all right. So you pick him up and he's just, and then they're going to be in the dock district. The cutlass. The cutlass put me down. It hurts.
Is that the name of the ship?
No. It's the name of the bar where Kurth hangs out.
Coolest.
Cutlass.
Cutlet. Oh, like a sword.
Just like, yeah, like a sword.
Oh, nice. We can't have you going back and telling him that we're coming.
I won't say anything. Just please let me go.
And she releases the pressure. What are we going to do with him? And she looks to the one person that's the coolest right now. What are we going to do with him, Livy?
Oh, you can hang out with us. I can babysit him if you need. Let's tie his hands. That way we keep an eye on him. We don't have to
Maybe since you're the coolest, give me a insight check.
Okay. There we go.
Be-de-do.
I know. Just get that Jeopardy music going.
Be-de-do.
I'm not so sure I was saying in like a cool factor. I was saying more in the attitude.
Yeah, a 19.
I'm taking it as the coolest. She's definitely the hippest of all of you.
Yeah.
What'd you roll, sorry?
19.
19?
19.
Livy,
19.
you're probably maybe borderline afraid to tell your friends this, seeing how they're acting. But you know for a fact this man is not being honest. His eyes are darting around.
She is then gonna stick with that comment. She said, "Yeah, I think we should keep him with us. Babysit him. We won't have to worry about him running off and, alerting."
All right. With that, she looks to the other two and
Guys, hands
says,
up. Babysit him.
and she very quickly, swiftly forearms him in the head and knocks him out cold. Not to kill him, just to knock him out cold.
All right. He drops
And
to the
then,
ground.
I believe, let me see. Here's how you did before people got things stolen from us. Yeah, she has a set of manacles on her, and she places him on the man, behind his back, and picks him
Cool
up.
metal clicks around his wrists. You pick him up, throw him over your shoulders.
It's,
Baelish looks at you. You lot are a gruff bunch.
And now you have a promise to uphold.
A promise? What do you mean a promise?
You're going to fix me. Right?
Well, yeah, of course. That's what I said. If I said it, why wouldn't I do it? You want You're like, we're going to do this right now. I don't know if I've made myself clear, but it's something that's going to take about a couple of days at least.
Sure.
We have that girl to go find.
Me too. And she just kind of looks a little dejected because she wants us to be over now. But she looks at the other two, and so I guess we have a bar to find.
The Cutlass ain't going to be hard to find. It's one of the most popular pirate bars there is. It's in the Dock District. As he says in points, you see a plume of fire explode from one of the ships. The mast is just engulfed in flames, and then you hear the cracking and creaking of wood in the distance as you see it just fall into the water. Several feet or yards from that ship, another explosion, and then another, as ships just seem to be exploding. And then before long, buildings begin to go. You hear screams, and then yells, and then the clattering of steel.
I feel like Livy would actually be kind of hitting the ground just in that like first initial like, oh shoot, like rocks, buildings are falling, it's the freaking giants. And so take her a moment to kind of just
PTSD kicks in.
Yeah. She's only had to endure like 2 of those, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of what she'd be reacting at first, just like shell shocked until it's like, wait. Act. Who needs help?
You look in the streets and you see down an alleyway that 3 individuals are locked in like swashbuckling sword combat. They look like a pirate in nature. They're going back and forth, 2 men versus 1. One man kind of parries up a sword, causing an opening, cutting across the gut of one, and then quickly backing off before the one man reaches out his cut wound, and they both press onto him, backing him down, swords flying, sparks coming from each other's cutlasses, and kick them one man's knee, kind of goes down to the ground, picks up some dirt and throws it in the face.
Just like in that like moment, just seeing the scuffle, just like, hey, just yell. Not really sure exactly what to do, but to also alert her friends, like, that's not. Because she's going to go and lend a hand. No, it's chaos. Unless you guys are shouting about we are moving X here, Livy's now kind of in that what you guys would probably remember from Bryn Shanders, where she's more concerned about helping the townsfolk versus like trying to fight the giants. So,
what's everybody else doing as Livy? You're just gonna go up and like break the fight, like, hey, you guys knock it off.
Not necessarily break. Like she's gonna like in that 3 versus 1, unless the one looks stereotypically like a thug of sorts.
They both look like thugs.
It's an unfair fight. Like
so you go over and kind of your presence comes and you see that all 3 of them look like thugs. And do you say anything? Do anything?
If they all look like, if the 3 look like big bullies, she's totally gonna be like, I'm gonna like knock you guys around and such. Like, I'll give a warning shot.
So you just like shoot off a little bolt of like firebolt or whatever. All 3 of them momentarily stop and look at you, and then the single guy.
Buildings are falling. Ships are blowing up. We have bigger fish to fry here. Leave that man alone. Get your act together.
They all look at you, and then within a flurry, the single guy that was taking on the 2 takes the opportunity to stab the one in the neck. You see him shocked, dropping his guard, pulls out his sword, and then cuts across the other guy's gut, and then begins to run down the streets as you distract them momentarily. He takes the opportunity to the fullest. Says, "Oh, thanks for that one."
Knowing the full story, like for all she knows, she saved that guy's life.
Yeah. What's everybody else doing?
Gentlemen, I think it's time to leave. Is the
But the people.
Does she say that?
I think more her reaction, kind of look and like kind of like leave and just that looking around, like just seeing probably the chaos unfolding some more as people are likely spilling out of some buildings, running into other buildings, and just trying to like figure out what's happening versus as well as find cover or protection. Like that's what I'm imagining is happening around them from what Chris described.
Yeah, so basically the streets, not in your like direct vicinity, but as you look down in the distance, you see that the streets are just littered with chaos right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if like a switch has been turned off and people are going all out at each other.
Does it look familiar, Chris?
Familiar in what way?
As if things are coming from the sky.
No, actually.
Okay.
You just see piratey individuals fighting other rough piratey individuals.
Maybe this is just how they have a good time, Livy. It's just.
Baelish looks at you like, what the hell's wrong with you people? Obviously, this isn't how people have a good time. The city's in chaos. They probably heard about Kurth's attack and they're rallying up against them. There's at least 3 other fleets of pirates, and they're not going to all just sit back as Kurth does what he wants, I reckon.
So we can try and rally them together?
Rally them. They're all pirates. They're all just bloodthirsty men looking to get to the top of the chain. They see Kurth as this aggression, as an opportunity. Quickly, we need to do something. Enough is enough. This is what we have to deal with.
Octavius would be just looking around for anybody hurt. He would be keeping an eye on the group, but he would just be trying to heal people or help anybody that was hurt or injured.
You see like 2 dead guys that have sword wounds, one in their throat. They look pretty wounded.
Yeah, I would look at Livy kind of disappointingly, shake my head.
We can either follow along with in the hopes that we don't get our own asses served to us, but if they're all looking for Kurth, we might be able to with them. But you know, that let's get out of here is starting to sound a whole lot more appealing as she's like taking in who's doing the fighting.
Warren, who's that little girl?
Why not just let them kill each other? The little girl, Lily, the young scrappy pirate, a new friend of mine.
Friend. Interesting word.
You called me that earlier. I heard you.
I did. With friends like you, I don't need any enemies.
That's true. I say we let the pirates just kill each other.
Yeah. I'm not interested in some pirate war that's going on now. I'm more interested in this. And she pulls back her robes a little bit, and there's just barnacles all over her body, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's looking pretty gross.
Put that shit away.
Yeah, and there's no pirate war that's going to make this end. But he can, and she points to him.
Did he say how he was going to cure it? Like, what did you guys have to do to get it cured? I don't remember.
We had to help him with this, and then he would cure me.
I guess it's up to him then, what he wants in order to do so.
Warrendale, you feel a tapping on your shoulder from behind.
What is it? Turn and see who's bugging me now.
And you get a slap across the face. You see Alice, the priest / medic of the stay sail. And she looks at you with like anger in her eyes. Tears are kind of welling up. She's like, did I just hear you correctly? You're just going to let them fight it out. You're going to let them kidnap Lily, kill her, and you're just okay with that.
What does the pirate war have to do with the little girl? I said the pirates can kill each other.
I knew you were in trouble when you walked in. You just looked like it. A few moments later, Hours. Hospitals exploding, men attacking.
That's the bullshit of that fellow over there that they brought along. Should I kill him for you? It'd be my pleasure.
Who's that? The pirate you're talking about? Meat?
No, Valish.
Baelish. He's like, "Oi, what are you blaming me for?"
You dropped the fireball. I mean, hell, even the damn cat would know better than to do something like that.
Oh, I lost my cool, all right. I didn't mean to. And she goes to like raise her hand against you again. Do you do anything?
No, I wouldn't to her, no.
She slaps you again and says, "I helped you. I saved your life. You would have died. Please, help Lily. She doesn't deserve this. She's just a small girl."
What do you think we're trying to do here? Stop smacking me around and perhaps we can get to work.
She backs off then. Says, "What I see is just you standing here, watching things go, unfold."
But I'm letting them kill each other to ease them up a little bit. The less we have to kill, the easier it is. Where did they take the girl anyway? Do you even know?
She shakes her head. "I don't know. Doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Kurth had his own men down there. Sure, there was other rival gangs, other rival pirate crews, but a hospital?
How do you know those people were Kurth's men?
How do I know them? Well, they run the city. Kurth is the king of sails.
So you're sure it wasn't some other pirate crew? I mean, from what I understand, there's multiple pirates here.
There's tons of pirates here. There's at least 5 different fleets, she would tell you.
But you know that these men were Kurth's.
I don't know anything. They ran in saying they were Kurth's.
Okay.
She would basically tell you it'd be like impossible. Like he has a fleet of I think it's around like the multiple thousands of ships. Kurth has the biggest fleet out of all the other rival gangs, so he rules over them. And for the most part, the smaller captains basically get put on other duties to run the city, but it's run like a pirate gang would run it. So not all of them would necessarily like their station, but apparently Kurth is not a man to be tested, is what you've gathered so far from your time here.
So what would they want with the little girl?
Vaylor steps up. "Oh, haven't you been listening or anything, man? I told you. Kurth killed her parents. Now he wants to kill her. The little girl's been going around the city. Everyone knows this, saying that she's going to be the queen of sails. Kill Kurth, ridiculous as it is. You think a man like that, a bloodthirsty king of pirates, is going to let some little brat yap off like that?"
We must go find her.
That's what I've been saying. You guys are just sitting here talking about it about yourselves. Meanwhile, the girl could be getting her throat cut right now.
So, you're a master level magician, right? Magic player, a wizard.
Why are you being a cocky prick? Obviously, I'm not a master wizard, or I'd be the Archmage of the Horse Tower.
Okay, but fine. Then, is there any way that could be tracked of where they disappeared to magically?
Magically, that's not in my realm of abilities. I'm much better at making things go boom.
Clearly. Then who is?
He looks like somebody, probably, I reckon, but does it really seem like a time to do this? We know where Kurth's hideout is.
Let's go.
So the 5 of us are going to take on the head of the city. This is a wonderful idea. Oh wait, no, 6 of us, and she slaps the guy to wake him up again, and goes, You're going to show us where to go now. And she puts him on the ground very forcibly and pushes him in the back.
He kind of like stumbles over himself and says, "Hi, if we walk in there, Karth will kill us."
We just want the girl back.
With that, he kind of like argues back and forth, but long story short is he knows that he's going to die if he questions you guys anyways, or at least that's what he believes. So he starts walking you through the streets, which are indeed now in chaos. You see rival gangs, a couple of them go by the Bram Pirates or the Souljack Pirates or the Talay Pirates, and they're all just like fighting between themselves. Looking for Kurth pirates, but in the same time, also like just fighting between other gangs. Everyone seems to have heard what has happened. A lot of pirates, like members' families and stuff, would have been in this hospital, and everyone seems to just be in an uproar about it. And the city has been like plunged into chaos. When a city is run by like people that don't really believe in law, when stuff like this happens, it kind of just like explodes into chaos until yeah, it is purge right now. Everyone that has every reason to be pissed off is just pissed off and fighting. You make your way down the streets through the actual Sale district, though, and in the distance you see I don't necessarily want to call it building per se, but what you see, let me pull it up here, is a massive inn. But what makes this unique as you're looking at it is that the structure of it is basically rebuilt pieces of ships. So like hulls and masts and the decks and whatnot are all just like, it looks like this inn's been destroyed many, many times. And every time they rebuild it, they just like take parts of broken ships and hammer it together and give this kind of like just haphazard slop together tavern. And on the entrance of it, as you look, it actually like carries out into the dock itself, and it's pretty enormous. You see a sign that says the Cutlass Inn. It's multiple levels, and some of it connects to each other with like the riggings of a pirate's masks and whatnot, like rope bridges and stuff. You see people all kind of fighting around it. But as you get to that vicinity, nobody is like fucking around in the Cutlass or around it. They're all just kind of keeping their distance.
Kurth here.
You just say this from the outside.
Yeah.
No one seems to answer you. They're just fighting amongst themselves.
Can I do a perception to see if I can see like the girl or see anybody looking shady that they might be guarding this place or something like that?
Yeah, go ahead. Anyone that wants to do that can do that.
I feel like Livy would try to take this moment, especially if she was put in charge of babysitting the prisoner, trying to just kind of like a quiet in his ear, doing the. Now would be the time to tell us where he really is.
Got a 7.
7. All right. Sunlit perceiving. You don't see. Actually, surprisingly enough, there seems to be no guards around the Cutlass itself. It's just completely unobstructed, and battle has basically been avoiding it altogether. You see Vailish kind of approach you all now. All right, that's the Cutlass. Now I got an idea. Kind of looks to you all. This is where your part comes in, Sunlit.
I have an idea. How about you just shoot a fireball at that building and then we'll be done with it?
And then if Lily's in there, are you going to yell at me again? I mean, I can do it if you
Just
want.
an idea. So what is your grand plan, sir?
Well, Kurth obviously doesn't like the Arcane Brotherhood. I stand out like a bit of a sore thumb, being a great caster and all. He doesn't really know who you lot are, though.
Are you sure?
Well,
We did just fight some of his men.
I don't know. Do you know Kurth? Have you met him? Do you know what he looks like?
No.
Well, then, I have a feeling you might not know who you are, then. He's not known for his divination abilities. He is known for being able to do something like that, though. And he points into the middle of the bay where it's just been, like, ripped apart and water is still, like, endlessly flowing into it. Now, what I want to do is get reinforcements, because I think we're going to be in for a bit of a war here. The Arcane Brotherhood cannot stand back anymore. With this going on, they'll have to do something.
One outside, the better.
You guys go and draw out Kurth, and I'll have your backup. We take him down, and this whole operation falls. Once people see that Kurth isn't this immortal man that rules above all, they'll understand that he's just an old, decrepit fool. Chaos will ensue. The Arcane Brotherhood will sweep up.
Octavius likes the idea.
Just looks at you all. You're an enthusiastic bunch, aren't you?
You know that.
Yeah, we're known for it.
So, he kind of looks at you all. We in agreement about this, or?
You said you had something for me to do.
He like, hold him. Christ almighty. Your part in this, Sunlit, is to go in there and talk to Kurth and draw him out and find out what's going on. Find out where Lily is. And me, Valish, will go and get the reinforcements. The wizards that make pirates go goodbye.
All of a sudden, Octavius starts to yell,
Here.
Kurt, come out here! Kurt!
We're always so subtle.
Livy just kind of slaps her forehead, and once again she'll try and talk to the prisoner and like, this is your chance now to tell us where he really is.
Where Lily is?
No, where Kurth is, because you were mentioning that earlier. She is pretty certain he was lying about where Kurth is.
Yeah, he just says that Kurth's in there. Now, to reiterate, he didn't necessarily seem like he was lying about where Kurth is. He just seemed like he was lying.
Okay.
But he said that that's where Kurth basically is when he's not out at sea, is in the Cutlass. That's his tavern.
How many men are probably in that building, that pirate?
Kurt, you wussy, get out here!
You're just yelling. Men are kind of fighting amongst themselves. No response to you, Octavius. As you ask this to meet, I'm assuming, Sunlit.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks like stressed and like he's afraid to say the wrong answer. So I honestly don't know.
A lot.
A lot, a little. It depends. I imagine that Kurth isn't just sitting back and letting this rebellion take place. But he's also not going to go and deal with every small little pissant pirate that thinks they can challenge him. As Octavius in the background, Kurth! He's just yelling it. Please just let me go. If Kurth knows that I started with you, he's just going to kill me.
That'd be the fourth time you died today.
Just looks like you're a sick individual. Even for a pirate, he gives you that look.
Let him go, Sunlight. We are where we need to be. Kurt!
And she would walk up to him, unless the manacles. But she holds onto the back of his clothing.
Okay.
So are we going in the building then, I suppose?
At this point, can I pick up a rock and chuck it at the door?
A rock?
And yeah, as you do that, she turns around and just puts up her hand to you, and she picks up the pirate and throws him into the door.
You're throwing the pirate into the door?
Uh-huh.
All right. Jesus. Make a strength save. Check.
Sure. This is gonna suck because I've had two really good ones in a row.
Valus is like looking to you all like, what in the hell's wrong with you? I'm not even gone yet.
A saving throw?
Check. Not a save, sorry.
Oh my god, I hate that guy.
And Valus starts to like run down the streets like all right, fine, Kurth. I'll be here shortly with the backup. 13. Where are you standing? Because I imagine you guys are pretty far away from the tavern still.
Well, you know, I mean, she would have positioned herself. Okay. She didn't have to throw him beyond 100 feet.
Yeah, that's what I was... Snipe him.
Just throw him a few times.
Yeah, sure. You throw him through the door. He tumbles in. The wood kind of smashes. He picks himself and looks up as that door kind of caves in. The fighting around, the 20-odd soldier or pirates or so going back and forth, all momentarily stop fighting and just look at you guys.
Tell your boss we want to talk to him.
Hey, you guys know Kurth?
And she backs up to get with her friends. Or not, so she's not right at the doorway.
One of them looks and spits on the ground in the distance and says, Kurth ain't the boss of me.
We could use that guy.
Then help us overthrow this bastard.
Octavius has obviously calmed down a lot at this point. But you can tell he's not like he's ready for a fight, but he's holding off the urge to release his emotions.
You hear a voice from in the tavern, deep and old. If you got something to tell me, come and tell me yourself.
Want the girl, Kurth?
Just saying from the outside.
Suppose he'd be up for making a trade.
Are you guys just bartering with him from the outside of the tavern where you can't see him at all yet?
No. She's Livia would pitch that to the others. Like, hopefully we can still grab our prisoner and take him in. But she knows this is probably like no leverage with. Kurth probably was like, whatever. I got help workers, whatever. Other men are dime a dozen, but still.
So there's not any people guarding this tavern.
Completely. Well, you haven't walked inside yet. As you throw it in, there's like no lighting, I guess, in the tavern. It's all kind of dark, and the daylight that is kind of beaming in just illuminates like the entryway. It stretches out for a long distance inwards. You see a couple of like old, rickety, beat up tables that stretch like table all the way down into the darkness before you basically can't really see any further in from like the daylight to darkness ratio, if that makes sense. You don't see anyone. There was like the fighting going around, But again, as you guys kind of walk into the proximity of this building, you notice that like there's nobody really fighting. As you like peek in, you don't see like the bars like littered with hundreds of men like spilling out.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was actually fighting around. Okay.
Yeah.
Warren will look at you, kind of shrug. He's just going to go walking in then. I mean, the guy wanted us to go in, so he'll go in.
You walk in, and the man that you chucked in, Meat, picks himself up as he kind of stumbles in, and just, Kurth, sir, I'm so dreadfully sorry. These men that captured me, please. You hear the voice, heavy breathing, heavy troubled breath, like this entity inside this bar is struggling to even breathe. And he looks at Meat, who's just like stammering on and afraid. And he says to him, "Who the hell are you?" And Meat is like, I'm Meat, one of your newer recruits. You see in the distance this towering man sitting in like this almost makeshift throne of pirate ship parts on the other end of this like 40-foot long rectangular bar, the Cutlass. You don't necessarily see any details, but there's this shadow, and he's sitting in this throne holding what looks like a large glaive. You can hear his breathing from here. He's like heavy mouth breathing. And he picks up the glaive by like a little bit and just taps it down on the ground. And as he taps it, the ground beneath your feet begins to tremble. You see inside the bar a crack form and start making its way to the man. Meat just kind of standing there like, "Kurth, please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to leave them. I didn't think that they'd be any trouble to you." Kurth looks at him. "You ain't any man of my crew. Who are you?" He's standing there, trembling, like he doesn't know what to say. Kurth begins to pick himself up, and there's like a break in the ceiling where the light kind of goes in, and it illuminates his face. You see, as he stands, this giant of a man, 7'2". He's barrel-chested and just literally looks like he must be half giant in some way. He has short, cleanly kept white hair and a thick white mustache. There's a deep scar that cuts from his left brow and cuts all the way down deeply across one of his eyes and all the way down to his chin. As he picks himself up, you see that he has draped over both of his shoulders this captain's coat that a pirate captain would wear, but he's actually not wearing it. He just has it draped over. And as he picks himself up, it's like he struggles to do so. And he lifts himself up and uses the glaive as this walking stick. And he begins to breathe heavily as he's picked himself up. You look at him, and his chest that is exposed is just rippled with muscles. The man looks like he must be like near his 70s, 60s, but he's absolutely just jacked. And as you see his chest kind of illuminated up from the sunlight that's broken into this hole, you see that he's just littered with scars all across his body, as if he must have fought in 1,000 battles. And as he heavily begins to breathe the silence of the room, you see him inch the glaive forward and begin to step. And as the glaive hits the ground, it trembles again with like the weight of 1,000 tons.
Octavius will pull out the gemmed sword that he picked up off the ground from the kidnapper of Lily, and he would show it to Kurth and say, "This is the sword of the man who kidnapped the girl. I'm assuming if this isn't one of your crew, then you weren't the one who ordered the kidnapping of Lily. Do you recognize the sword?"
He actually just says, standing there, breathing heavily, "Enter."
I'll walk into him.
I would follow.
Holds out his hand. The man Meat is just standing there trembling in fear. You walk across the bar, you're kind of hearing the footsteps, is the only silence in this room. As you look now, you see that Kurth was literally sitting in here completely by himself. You show him the sword, and he looks to you, says, "What did you say about Lily?"
This man and his crew kidnapped her from the hospital in the sewers. Men were killed. It was a bad scene. We're looking for her now. They blamed it on you.
He grabs onto the sword and begins to just squeeze and literally bend it like it's a toy. He points to one of you and says, "Bring that man to me. Meat." He just commands you.
Gladly throws him to him again.
Meat falls on the floor in front of Kurth.
This will be the fourth time he dies today, there, Mr. Chris.
He looks up and just says, "Kurth, please. I'm sorry. I'll tell you anything you want to know." And Kurth looks at him and says, "You have one chance to die quickly. Tell me who you're working for." And then Meat says, "I don't know. It was just somebody hooded. He paid us handsomely. He said, go to the hospital, steal the girl, destroy what we can, and blame it on you. We were going to get away after this. I'm sorry, Karth. I know it was stupid."
Was it a white hooded figure, sir?
Before you even get to ask him that, Kurth, this man that looks like he's troubling to even stand, picks up his glaive in a quick motion, and then with the butt end, which has this old Jolly Roger flag on it, drops it on the man's spine.
Brother Nine.
And you just see the man literally break in two.
Fuck.
Yeah, can't spare to die in that, buddy.
No.
He literally like rips the man apart with the glaive.
Speak with the dead. No, I'm just kidding.
He looks to you all, points the glaive. You see that the blade end of the glaive, the shaft of it made of black obsidian with red filigree. The blade portion is the sharp steel, but on the back end of the blade, it looks like the metal has been pounded and crafted in a way that it looks like a torrent of waves.
Cool.
And he says, "Who are you, and what do you know of this? What have they done with Lily?"
Turn to look at Warrendale.
Warrendale shrugging. They stole her. They said they worked for you. We came to you to find out what you needed for the girl. I just want to take her home, give her a happy life. We're just here to help her. Other than that, I have no idea.
Kind of plays with his white mustache for a while. "You got a lot of balls walking in here."
He invited us.
"Doesn't mean I won't kill you."
Yeah, I've been dead before. But perhaps we can help each other out. Apparently you didn't hire to have this girl kidnapped. What interest do you have in her? Friend? Family, perhaps?
Lily
Maybe we
hates
could
my
help
guts.
She did say that.
But her parents, Rich and Rose, they meant a lot to me.
She said you killed them.
I know she believes that. I guess technically I did. I didn't save them.
Save them from what?
Well, long time ago, before I was king of the sales, I actually served Rick. They were part of the Arbuckle Pirates. Just a small 6-man crew. Richard said he got the scoop on a rare treasure. And that if we went and found it, we could rule. Well, turns out rare treasures aren't unguarded. A horrible creature. Tentacles, massive, could swallow a frigate whole, was waiting for us. It got Rose first. Squeezed her in two. Broke the ship in half. Richard said he couldn't bear to go on, knowing that it was his fault, and that it would be me that needed to take care of Lily. I was young then. Didn't know what to do. Gave me this. The rare treasure. And shows you the glaive. And sacrificed himself. When I got back, the rumors started that I betrayed everybody. Seen the hate in Lily's eyes as she looked at me. It's the same hate that I felt for myself. Felt I didn't deserve to tell her the truth. So I took that burden. But he made me promise that I would look after her and make sure nothing ever happened. I've done that. Became a great pirate like he said I would be. But now some asshole wants to try and break that promise.
Octavius would look to him and say, "Sir, we vow to protect Lily and to get her back. You should give me your glaive so that its purpose can be fulfilled and rescue her."
He stomps it on the ground. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Do you need me to do sorry?
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm pulling it up, Here we go. Bam. That's a 9.
You fall flat on your ass as he literally taps it on the ground, and you just get swept off your feet from the trembling. Rafters begin to fall in the bar, and it's literally just from him tapping it.
Yeah, you should definitely give me that.
All right, so who is this asshole that wants to dethrone you then? Perhaps that's who took the girl.
Could be any of them. They're all jealous. Baird Brom, second High Captain. Captain Thora Thale. Dagmar. They're all jealous. Being the king. All anyone but my crew wants is just to take my place.
Sounds like a city job.
I'm tired of it. I'm ready for it to be over.
I will take your place.
Just gotta give him the glaive.
Points the glaive at you and says, I'm gonna warn you. I'm not a humorous man.
Then that's something that you and I share. The long and the short here is, Perth, is that I have a bit of a feeling who may have done this. Maybe the same person that did this to me. And she does move her cloak a little bit.
He looks.
Yeah.
You got like barnacles all over you, and again you have like that as it's getting worse, there's also on top of the barnacles growing at you, it looks like a burn mark of like the suction cups, right? Like a tentacle suction cup are kind of just burned into your flesh. He looks at you, gives you a knowing nod, and then pulls back the captain's cloak on his right shoulder and shows you that there's a scar pretty much identical to those suction cups. I dealt with those pricks long ago. They ain't foolish enough to come after me again.
Well, they came for me.
Well,
because of this hooded figure, I believe.
Hopefully you're strong. Because his minions are. And he's even stronger.
The three of us are very aware.
Who is he?
Kurth kind of looks at you, says, the one she's talking about? Slarkathel.
Yeah, that's the name.
And who is Slackwathel? Forgive my inept, I'm a city man.
Says, an ancient kraken.
See, but it was the same one that took Lily's family.
He looks. Doesn't really make any sense.
Are you certain?
Came for me long ago. I fought them off. I thought Slarkathel gave up. You hear a voice in the distance yell out, interrupting your conversation. I'm going to say like several minutes have passed now, like borderlining like maybe 30 minutes, if not longer, as you're talking. And you hear a voice kind of call out, "Oi! Kurth, you old prick! Why don't you get out here? I got something to show you. I think you might want to see."
I hate that guy.
Says, "Who's that? Who's this guy?"
I'll just point at Sonny. Her friend that's gonna cure her shit she's got on her. It's a bit of an asshole.
I don't recognize him. What's his name?
Asshole.
Vargas or something like that, I believe. Chris.
Sorry.
You guys are the worst at names.
Starts with a V. I don't know. A Vagisil or something like that.
He says, again, Valish calls out, Oi, Clarth! You didn't die in there, did you old fart? I'd hate for that to happen before I defeat you.
Hey, Valish, you didn't take the girl. It's all good, buddy.
He pushes you all out of the way. Who the fuck is Valish?
Some type of wizard. From that tower.
He begins to walk up some stairs, and basically the way that this inn is created is it almost kind of looks like half building, half pirate ship. So he actually begins to walk upstairs and bring him up to the upper deck or rooftop area of this cutlass. I imagine you guys follow him.
I will.
As you do so, you see that the fighting has intensified around. More pirates are going at it, but in the distance, formed a perimeter is a whole like army of wizards. Kurth looks around, kind of tucks his coat up a little bit further, and then Valish kind of steps forth, and he's up on this like 2-story building about 200 yards away, using a spell to make his voice incredibly loud.
It's called thaumaturgy.
And you shut up. He looks. How's it been, old friend? I've been waiting for this day a long, long time. And Kurth says, "You're no friend of mine. I don't recognize your face. Who are you, Valish?"
Pretty sure it was Vagisil.
He says, "I, Kurth. Vinago Kurth. Of course you don't recognize me, do ya? You're just the kind of prick that wouldn't recognize me. Rich and Rose." He actually pulls out Lily now, who's actually tied up. And he says, "Ring a bell? Oh, I was one of those 6 men on the crew with you. You guys didn't give a fuck about us, did you? When that Kraken came, you all saved each other. Went for Rose first, and when she was gone, he went for you. Not one of you thought about us, you 6 little peasants. The Kraken took us, but he didn't put us out of our misery. No. He did something much worse. But something much worse for you, too." And he actually kind of pulls back his robe that he has now and drops the facade. He's had this illusion on himself. And you see that there's like a barnacle growing on where his eye used to be. And he's literally just completely covered in all these things, much like Sunny looks like, only much worse. And water is kind of dripping from him. "You got to be the hero. The rest of us, we got to be this. How does that make you feel, King of Sails?" Kurth doesn't say anything. "Aye, That's what I thought you would say. You pansy old man. Hiding behind that weapon. You ain't anything without it. Everyone here knows it. And I'm gonna prove it. I challenge you to combat for King of the Sail. 1-on-1. Here and now. Kurth kind of puts back his robes, dropping the captain's cloak. If that's what you want to do, Valish, let's do it here and now. I'm sorry for what happened to you. I was young then. I thought about it every day. All I ever wanted was a family. I don't recognize you, but I see the hate in your eyes. Let's do this. If I win, you give Lily back. She's gagged, but she looks just like disgusted by this. Like she wants to say shit. And he says, you could have the girl back if you defeat me. But as he begins to hand the girl off to another wizard, he says, we're going to make things interesting, though. And then pulls out this vial. And as he begins to pour it, water pours out of it and swashes around on the roof of the building. But instead of actually draining out, it begins to drain upwards into a humanoid shape. And suddenly a large water elemental is summoned on the roof. And he says, I'm going to prove who you really are without that weapon, Kurth. A coward. And he points to the water elemental, and it completely engulfs Lily, submerging her in water, and she begins to go into a panic. 1-on-1 combat. Let's do this. Does anyone do anything as this is going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast a couple of spells on Kurth.
She's 200 feet away.
I thought we came up with Kurth.
Yeah, but you guys are you're on the cutlass, and then 200 feet away on like a 2-story building is them.
Yeah, I know. I want to try to like cast like bless on Kurth and like, maybe beacon of hope.
Yep, that's completely fine.
Just trying to boost him up to the fight.
Anybody else want to do anything?
Is he wearing armor?
Who, the wizard or Kurth?
Kurth.
Basically, just pants and shirtless.
I mean, if he'd let me use it, I'd cast mage armor on him.
If you were to go hand something up to him, he'd hold his hand out.
Oh, no, that's what I figured, yeah.
Lily?
I don't think there's anything she would do. Like, I think she's almost disapproving of the others, like, aiding, where it's like, that's not really making a fair fight. But at the same time, she's like, whatever, I guess I'll be here if he needs help. I can shoot, but...
All right. As they enter the arena, that's been basically formed by the men, the disgusting Valish the Brown in his true form is smiling. He says, if you use that glaive, I'll have that elemental ram all of its energy down that little girl's throat and suffocate her in an instant.
Octavius will hold out his hands.
Now drop the weapon, Kurth, and fight me. Or be a coward like I know you are. You don't care about her or anybody else, do you? All you care about is yourself. And as he's in the arena, a firebolt powerfully swirls around and goes towards Kurth, and you just see him kind of standing there with his glaive, and Kurth just looks up and takes it head on. Flame erupts into his chest and kind of just shoots around this wall of fire that spits out as if it's hit like a concrete wall. The fire dispersed, and he's standing there. You can smell his burnt flesh, and as you look, you see there's a big burn mark right on the chest of Kurth. It's as if it didn't hurt him at all. But then he winces, and he begins to fall over onto the glaive. But he doesn't act. Valish begins to circle around him now. Oh, what's the matter? You scared, are you, old man? You ain't got the power, do you, without that weapon?
You don't think he's just gonna give up? Livy would kind of whisper to the others.
You notice that sunlight from the news that has been given is kind of retreated, not really paying attention much to what's going on here, and just looks really depressed. Because she thought there was going to be an end to this for her.
Can I see Lily? Is she being drowned by the thing, or is it just holding her?
No, she is engulfed in water, basically in the center of this water elemental, and panicking.
All right. And she's on another rooftop about 200 yards away.
Yep.
All right. Can we move across rooftops, or is it more across the ground and then up another building, basically?
Up to you. If you have ways to do so.
Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know if there was other buildings around. Okay.
Yeah, there's lots of. So yeah, I guess I should describe. The dock district itself is like a semicircle of stone, which has a bunch of wooden docks that protrude out. And built on the dock itself is the Cutlass, and then there's hundreds of thousands of ships behind you, some of them burning. But then the crescent stone also has the city kind of built out around it. There's about a clearing of stone where the fight seems to be going on, but also is the basically a couple 10 feet or like maybe 50, 40 feet away from you are buildings. But then obviously they're the furthest kind of semicircle gap away from you of buildings, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. All right. Sunny, you're right there with us, correct?
Yeah, but again, she's not a good place right now.
That's okay. So you know this going around. Warren will be right next to you, Sunny. He'll tap on your shoulder and point across the way to where Lily is. Says, might not mean much, but we got to get the girl out of there. Come and help me. And he'll look at you to see if what you're going to do. You can see this sort of genuine sort of look in his eyes. He's seems to be more concerned about her, or more than you would expect out of him anyway.
Yeah.
Says I'll do whatever I can to get these barnacles off of you, because they're disgusting and I don't like them. But we have more important things to do right now. Scratch my back and I'll scratch your behind your ears or something later.
Always jokes.
Says you're the fastest one I know.
You know I can get there and they wouldn't even know I had left yet.
Well, if you can get over there.
I'm not sure where you are, but that fight took everything I have.
I ain't got shit either, really, but
luckily, mechanically, I don't have to use Q points to move fast.
Right. All right. Well, he says, if you can get over there as quick as you can, try to get the girl out. I'll be right behind you. If it makes you any easier, I can make you invisible if you need it.
That's maybe better for yourself.
Yeah, I
And
could do it to myself too.
in her dejected state, she kind of looks at the other two, looks at the scene, and she begins to like lightning move towards that building.
Okay. Since she's moving, then I'm gonna cast invisibility on myself and just move as fast as I can towards Lily until I can get to her.
Okay, you trying to like are you gonna climb up the buildings or are you just gonna
Well, as long as I am assuming it's in between turns and stuff like that, but I can use a bonus action to fly 20 feet with my pennant, so I can just fly between building to building as needed. And then if you want to roll or something for me, I can do that too.
So this is the interesting question I've been waiting for you to ask, trying to bait you into asking it. Sorry, but where do you keep that bandana normally? Is it on your head? Or
Yeah, I figured it just took place of my original bandana that I had. So
you notice now for the first time since you went to sleep in the hospital that the bandana isn't around your head. Give me a perception check.
Perception skills. I'm gonna guess I already know, but 16.
200 feet across the plaza, though, you see a small little girl with a black bandana wrapped around her head.
All right. Well, in that case, I can still do the 10 feet fly whenever I use a spell or anything, and I can use that for cantrips. So I'll do that as I need to. But as I'm starting to run, I'm invisible right now, but I'm going to make sure that her hook hand is still in my pocket. I guess we just traded 1 for 1, but I got the shit into the deal.
You think back to like when you were first waking up and you, and out of character, made a perception check and rolled really badly. And then she had her hands behind her back as if she was kind of surprised that you were awoke. And it all kind of clicks in now. But yeah, you have the hook in your pocket as you definitely got the shit end of the stick. And a worse time than ever. But you can how can you fly again? Sorry, what do you have to do?
Whenever I cast a spell, I can move 10 feet. Okay, so cool. I mean, I can just do.
Yeah, so you cast invisibility and then you can just glide across.
But I'll roll as need be with like
let's roll initiative now because things will get interesting from here on out. Everyone can roll initiative. You two, Livy and Octavios hear them talking amongst themselves. And once everyone's in the initiative.
Oh no, we have really shitty initiative.
Attaboy, guys. Guess I should put Kurth in here too. All right.
Do you want Livy and Octavius to roll initiative too?
Yeah, unless you guys literally plan to sit back and do nothing. You hear what's that?
I think Livy just kind of looked at Octavius and be like, I guess it can move closer. I got plenty of range here, though. I think if they're 200 feet away, she needs to at least get another 80 feet closer.
Yeah, and to basically tell you what you guys see unfolding as we're rolling initiative is that Valish again circles, and Kurth is just standing there, holding himself up with the glaive, and then a lightning bolt shoots out from Valish's hands, kind of sparking from his fingers. Powerful, dangerous spells. And just Kurth literally does nothing, just stands there and takes it. And you see him shake and be electrocuted. Lights just kind of illuminate from around him. You hear the singeing of his skin and hair. And then the spell ends, and Kurth has just stood there and taken it. Again, he coughs out blood this time, though, as he seems to be badly injured. Let me just do this, actually. Sorry. I got to do that. And then I got to do this. And then we'll go into initiative. And you hear him say to Valish, Lily had nothing to do with this. She was just a small child when her parents died. Your issue is with me. Let her go. And Baylor starts to laugh now. Let her go? That would take all the fun out of this, Kurth. You don't know how long that Kraken toyed with my mind and wiped who I was and did all kinds of terrible things to me. Well, you did what? Became a king. No, I don't think I'm going to let that girl go. And I think what I'm going to do to you is going to be slow and painful. Maybe I'll keep you just barely alive and make you watch me do it to her next. Initiative. Livy, you're the first to act.
Oh, yeah, cool. So, yeah, she's going to be moving forward. She'd look at Octavius, the others kind of, and be like, I got to get closer, but, and, like, maybe try to survey, like, an area where it's like, you can keep with me or you can run up with them, but, and she'll probably try for her vantage point. Are the houses, by chance, or the buildings close enough together that within reason she could jump?
Within reason, definitely will need some checks. And you'll also need to climb it unless you have like something that can climb. So it's not going to be like, there's definitely no like super easy beeline path. The fight is in the middle, which is the quickest path, but there's lots of people that have gathered in and are watching this unfold. You hear a couple of Kurth's men say, "Come on, Kurth, fight back."
Well, she's going to take the quickest, not like super dangerous kind of path where it's like, if there's like maybe a slight challenge, she'll probably be like, oh yeah, I can hop that or climb that. But if it's anything that's any more than what she, like with her dex of like what, +3, yeah. So she's moving basically this turn.
All right, yeah. So yeah, give me an acrobatics check as you like run up to the side of a building, and basically there's like this like shed-like roof that is easy to grab, but then as you go, you see kind of like drainage pipes and whatnot, and begin to have to climb a bit of an obstacle. Acrobatics check, and you do have 1 level of exhaustion, so it's at disadvantage. As you're like, holy shit, I haven't slept in a long time.
That's right. Thank you for that reminder. I rolled a 13, so but I have to do my additional plus, which should be at level 7. We have a +3.
Yep.
All right, so that would be a +6. So that would be 19 for the first roll. But let's go find out what my second roll is. Please be better. Nope, it's 11. So 11 + 6 or 17.
17. You begin to climb your way up, shimmying a good distance, and you're almost near the roof as Valish is up next, and he lets off a flurry of magical missiles into Kurth's face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 missiles just slam into him, and each and every one, Kurth just stands there like a brick wall and then takes it. But then as he finishes taking the spell, hunches over and winces in pain. Kurth is up next, and he just stands there and does nothing. Warrendale, what do you do? You've already begun your move, so I'm going to say you're at like where Livy kind of just runs by you and says, probably says like she's backing you up or whatnot, and begins to climb. You're at the base of this building, and then there's like several more buildings that also kind of like mirror the semicircle of the dock, kind of wrapping around in like a U shape, and in the center of the U is where Lily and the water elemental and the wizards are. You look and you see that there's a lot of the arcane brotherhood on top of the buildings also.
I'm just gonna make the quickest route that I can. I'm going to be casting greater invisibility on myself and mage armor for whatever building that I might need to get that extra boost to get across as quick as possible. Okay. So basically, once this turn to move as far as I can, use that to boost me the extra 10 feet to fly, whatever effort I need to, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, and you literally
just do
fly.
Mage armor first, and I think it took effect. It says I have effects AC 3 on my character, but I'm not sure if it actually figured it in.
Yeah.
And then you greater invisibility when needed, basically.
Okay, yeah. So you do that, and what does it look like? Because I imagine it's not really like climbing. Do you just like full on fly up there, levitate?
Yeah, it's basically flying. So as soon as I cast a spell, I'm just throwing forward whichever kind of direction I want. Is a fly speed of 10 feet. So I'm guessing the mage armor will be first. You can see the crackling energy go up my body. It gives it this sort of blue glow, but it's almost like this blast of gust of wind just throws me forward, kind of awkwardly, I suppose. But I seem to just keep running.
Got you. That's cool. All right, Octavius, you're up next. You two are pretty badly exhausted. You actually have half speed, and you see your friends run off and start parkouring up buildings, and you're in like heavy armor and tired. What are you thinking as you watch Kurth just doing nothing as he is essentially dying?
Octavius's eyes are flashing back and forth from Kurth to Baelish. And he realizes this is an unfair fight, especially knowing the truth about Lily. Octavius doesn't understand what the other wizards are doing and how they can justify Baelish doing this. At first, he yells out to them, "Is this justice? Is harming a little girl justice in your eyes?"
None of them answer back. But if you could see their eyes, some of them are questioning it and like looking and saying like what really are we doing right now?
I'm going to continue to push this. Octavius will just yell, no matter what their griefs, no matter what their history, this girl has nothing to do with it. How can we even think about holding her in that water? One of you must do something. At least help the girl. Let them continue to fight. And while I'm saying that, I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Kurth. I know that not many.
You were to cast a spell on him. What he actually did is ready in action on his turn, and he slams. His back is turned to you, but he slams his glaive into the stone, and it begins to ricochet into your direction. And then you hear him say, "Don't interfere."
Yeah, all right. Octavius would back off with that and just probably kneel and one last time yell to the wizards and just be like, "Please do something." And he's kneeling to show that he has no more ability to do anything. Hopefully one of them can do something.
All right. Do you want to try to persuade maybe, since you didn't really, your sanctuary thing you backed off on?
Yeah, I'd love to use persuasion, I guess. I maybe shouldn't say that before I see what my modifier is. But... Oh, that's a 22 to persuade them.
Sweet. One does begin to go over, and he holds his hands down and basically creates this. He casts fly, and like wind starts to shoot over to him, and he heads towards the water elemental, and he says, "Valus, I don't know what this is, but this isn't what we signed up for. You said the pirates were rebelling, destroying the city. This is something else. You're harming a girl, a small child." And as he goes to fly towards the water elemental, a entity that was like basically took the standing position where he was, holds out his arm and cast a spell at the flying wizard, and just back. Trying to roll damage here, sorry. Or saving and damage. It's a fireball that he cast. And scrolling. Jesus, that's a lot of spells. The wizard fails and gets burnt, falling down, plummeting down. You see other men now begin to get uneasy, and other individuals begin to peel back their robes. They're all kind of hooded and hidden, and start revealing that they too are barnacle infested. Sunlit, you get a vision of what you could potentially become. And the one individual yells out to all the pirates, "Kurth is weak. If any of you want to be the king of the sails, now's your chance." And at first, no one really does anything. But then a couple of them start to nod. "Yeah, look at that bitch old man. He's just standing there, letting a puny caster beat him down. Fuck Kurth. I'm gonna be king." And he goes to like run out to the battlefield, but then one of his loyal Kurth pirates, we're gonna call them, blocks it off, and then fighting begins to ensue again as uncertainty has taken the battlefield. Sunlit, what do you do?
All right. Well, so we had a surprise round of movement, right?
Yeah, so yeah, you already moved. You being as fast as you are, I'm gonna say are up the building probably.
Yeah, I used just a dash the first time.
Yeah, so you're about
So
3
80
buildings.
feet.
You're about 3 buildings away, and being 80 feet away, that puts you 120 feet away from where.
All right. So this time I use my feline agility along with a double dash, and I get
Okay.
to where the water elemental is because I can move 160 feet at that point.
Dang. All right, so you are there, and there is a barnacle encrusted caster and a water elemental holding Lily inside. What do you do? That's it.
That's my turn. You know what I mean? Because I had a double dash to do it.
All right.
But what she does do is she kind of does like a badass like throw her cape off thing to kind of show what she is becoming as well.
Yeah. The wizard, actually it's good that you did that, because the wizard looks to you and says, "Hi, another one of us. Help defend me. I think more of those wizards are going to be coming." And he readies and starts firing fire bolts at anyone that begins to come. And some wizards actually are, Octavios, beginning to like say like enough is enough, and spells begin to cast back and forth. And as that begins to happen, and fire and lightning and wind is shooting above, the pirates below are now battling around Kurth, who Valish is still circling and just tormenting in laughter. That brings us to Lily, who is bound behind her back and feet and basically kicking and going in the water, but the water elemental itself is a torrent of energy that doesn't let her swim in any way. It essentially has her trapped. Livy, you're up.
As Livy approaches closer and whatnot, she, I believe she has one more movement to make, to be within range of 120 feet.
Yeah.
And so, well, therefore, take aim at the wizard.
All right. You pull out Maiden's Garden.
Oh yeah.
Wait, which wizard?
Yeah, which one? I'm assuming the
Baelish. Yep.
Oh, you're gonna attack Baelish.
Press the B.
Cool.
Because from what it sounded like, everyone was starting to, or there were a few that were starting to rally against him. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and so she's huffing, puffing, and just.
Or wait, sorry. No one was rallying against Baelish. People were trying to go after Kurth.
Okay.
And then the people that were rallying against the wizard that was guarding Lily in the water elemental.
Okay. Then we're taking sights on those ganging up on Kurth, because that is unfair.
All right. So you do want to attack Baelish, just to confirm?
No, we're going to go after the
Gotcha.
people that are trying
Gotcha.
to take on Kurth now.
Gotcha.
Because they're not supposed to be part of the duel. Come on, freaking dice. All right. So we're going to get 2 shots off. We're going to use fire. And our first is a 20, unnatural, so.
That will definitely do.
And then the next is a 12.
A 12 on a wizard will also do.
Oh, fun. So that's going to be 13 for the first and 12, so 25 fire.
Nice. You bloody. So this is the one that was essentially when the Arcane Brotherhood tried to go free Lily. This wizard shot a fireball and stopped it. Nobody is attacking Kurth and Baelish yet. They're all just kind of having a one-on-one fight. But the Arcane Brotherhood tried to step in and free Lily. But then other mages that are barnacle infested stepped up, and now the wizards are battling each other. So I imagine that's who you meant you were going for, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, yeah, as he's going to shoot a bolt of fire, he just gets hit in the side of the shoulder, and then he looks to see who did it, and again hit in the chest, and then looks, and the arrows are just literally pure fire as he sees you across in the distance with Maiden Garden in your hand, kind of eyes lining down the sight. Anything else on your turn?
No.
All right. Baelish is going to smack again with this time. He just kind of laughs and says, "Still standing, old man. Let's see if you can stand this." And hits him with a massive lightning spell. It literally like illuminates the whole entire dock district. And Kurth disappears in the lights, and it's as if thunder or lightning from the sky itself dropped down on him as it dissipates, though. Kurth is still standing there, blood now pouring from his chest. Next up is normally Kurth, but he is again just literally taking it. You don't know what he's thinking, but he has refused to fight back. Warrendale, you're up.
I am muted. There we go. Again, same thing, just hauling ass across the rooftops. I'm gonna do a double dash so I can move the 60 feet, but I'm going to use 2 sorcerer points to cast greater invisibility, so I got that on me, and that propels me another 10 feet. I don't know if you need a roll for anything or not, but
no, if you're flying, then I don't think there's anything I can really reasonably make you do.
All right, so yeah, basically just moving the double move and casting a greater invisibility.
All right, so you've moved roughly 120 now because you double dash twice, or dash twice.
Dash twice,
but
so
then
yes.
additional 10 movement each time. So you've actually done 140.
40.
So yeah, you are now 60 feet away, flying from building to building. Gotcha. Now invisible.
Sweet. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Octavius. You see that the pirates again have begun to start fighting. You look in the distance and you see wizards beginning to fight. It's just absolute chaos as like a war of both 2 separate sides of 2 different entities all fighting each other.
Octavius would look to Kurth, raise his warhammer, and state, "You, sir, are a magnificent example of my god Ilmater. If you will not allow me to take part in your fight against Baelish, then I will protect you on my fight against these pirates." And Octavius will plant his feet and he'll prepare himself. And anybody that comes for Kurth at all, Octavius will fight and try to defend to the back of Kurth. So only he has to take the blows of Baelish. And he's just standing there so impressed that he's calling upon all of his might to be able to protect the back of Kurth from any foes at all.
That's super cool. All right. As you do that, Sunlit is up next. Actually, before I get too far.
All right. Well,
Barnacle Wizard's like, look, my sister, one is coming for us. Quickly, destroy him.
And she just nods. And I would like to hold my action until it appears as if that person's going to get attacked. But I'm actually going to attack that guy.
Okay. So you're going to wait for like the 2v1 situation?
Yeah. Because
Right.
I literally I have no key points. I don't really have a lot to do here. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean?
Yeah. You're
I was
good.
pushing to wait to do this because we are all kind of shitty.
Hey, only with that attitude are you shitty, okay? Anything else? You ready your action?
Yeah, and I don't want to really move. I don't want to move. I would think that I got very close to this person.
Yeah,
because they're standing next to where the elemental is, right?
Yeah, you're standing on the rooftop in the center of the dock district, looking over the fight.
Yeah.
You see like a wall of wizards now beginning to fly up, and then meeting that wall is another alignment of these infested kraken wizards. And basically it's like the two forces meet, one flying up, and then spells begin to fly from both hands as they're all casting everything. Ice storm materializes and starts to hail down.
All of the things.
Magic wars. So yeah, you just wait. Next up is actually a pirate that steps up and just says death to Kurth, which Dan, you or Octavius can use your ready to action.
Yeah, Octavius will see this as an opportunity to protect a fellow follower of his god, and he will definitely put all of his might and possibly an inspiration if he has to into the swing of his mighty warhammer. Yeah, he's going inspiration on that one. There we go.
There you go.
As he raises his hammer to defend what he believes is an all righteous act, he hits for 6 damage.
All right, 6 damage. Nice. Seeing you step in the way, he says, "Get out of my way! I'm going to be the next king," and swings at you, rolling a 6 to hit, which obviously does not do, and a 9 to hit, obviously also missing. The mage that got hit by Livy is going to shoot at you, Livy. Some spells. See what I can hit you with.
Sure, it's return to love.
Give me a dexterity saving throw, Livy.
Oh, dude.
This got some nice range on it. Actually, hold on. I can just. Let me go roll. Actually.
The saves I do not have disadvantage on yet, right?
Correct.
Cool, because a flat 18 plus at least 3 to her dex for 21.
Yeah, so you save, and as a fireball gets shot across to the rooftop that you're on, you're going to take, instead of full damage, you're going to take 16 damage.
Woo! I'm glad I saved.
Yeah, it would have hurt quite a bit. And I have you actually at 5 health already taken too, so I'm pretty sure that was from the last fight. So, 13 plus the 5.
16 plus 5?
Yeah, sorry. 16 plus 5. 21. Next up is the guy that's coming to fight the person that you're waiting for, Sunlit. So your ready to action goes off, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
He swings in, and with like fire on his fist, he goes and tries to punch the mage that's casting spells. He actually only rolls a 10. What do you roll?
I'm gonna roll advantage, and it's only for two attacks because
Okay.
I get extra. but it's just easier to do it this way. Yeah, I'm gonna use the comma whip.
Yep.
Funness. Yeah, those both are gonna hit. So it was 15 to 16.
Okay.
So 24 and 23.
For damage?
Nope, 24 and 23 for a hit.
Yeah, definitely both hits.
And first damage is 9. Second damage is a bopping 6, so 15 damage.
All right, that's actually exactly the amount you needed to kill him.
Oh, nice.
Because he was already bloodied from Livy.
Wonderful.
So yeah, he kind of swings in and punches, and he looks over to you. My sister, help me for Slarkafel.
Yeah, and I again, I just nod, and I kind of use the counter whip end, the bludgeoning end of it. And kind of the guy standing near him, so it looks like I'm gonna be swinging at that person, but instead I clock him in the back of the head and kill him.
All right, you do so. As you do, though, you put yourself in basically not friendship terms with the water elemental, who's been waiting his turn for somebody to try to do something. But there's also another entity here, so he's going to roll a d4. And it's actually not you that he swings for. So he slams, and that's definitely a hit. And almost over bloodies this guy in one strike behind you. And the guy that gets pounded with water, and you see Lily get swashed around, tripped and turned like she's caught in a tidal wave. And the man gets hit down to the ground, soaking wet and coughing up water. And he says, "Help the girl." Next up, though, is Livy. You see a water element. Is Livy kicked out again? Livy's kicked out again. All right. We'll hold Livy for now until she jumps back in. She's having issues with the iPad. And Baelish again lets out another torrenting spell to the unfortunate Kurth, who, let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure after this drops down to one knee as a fireball hits him again, and he says, "I always knew you were a coward, Kurth." And Kurth is now bloodied. "I will rule in your reign. Do what you never could." Water Elemental is now actually up with its ready turn, and with a slam attack is going to hit your ally again with the Flaming Fist, whose fists have now went out, and finishes them off, and is going to look at you, Miss Sunlit, and try to make you... Can't do that, so it just literally has to slam into you. Slam attack. Only a 9 to hit. Gonna assume that you can dodge that.
I can.
Warrendale, you see Sunlit is now engaged with the water elemental. It moves forth, this like humanoid-shaped giant entity, or not giant, but large entity, slamming one of its watery fists. Sunlit jumps out of the way on top of the building now, precariously close to the ledge, as the rooftop that they're on in particular isn't the largest. What do you do? Oh, Mary's back. Mary, you want to take your turn first? We kind of overlapped you. Sunlit is fighting a water elemental. Is basically all you missed. And you are...
That was me, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so cool. Sorry about that.
And the wizard that you're shooting at is dead.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. He got finished off.
You attacked, or someone attacked him and finished him off. All right,
I
so
did.
there's still others around there. Baelish is still trying to kick his ass. He's getting pretty low on health, so I think Livy's going to actually, this time, she is going to commit to going after Baelish, just because it just seems she's now more into like this. Man, we're going to just see if we can help Earth out. So she's going to be taking 2 shots at that wizard Baelish.
All right, go for it.
See how it goes. 18 to hit.
18 will hit Baelish.
But yeah, will an 11 hit as well?
No.
Yeah, okay. So we are going to do both lightning for fun. And a grand total of 6. See?
All right, you hit him
And
in.
if there's like any cover, she'll kind of duck a little bit, just like the last guy I hit, he can throw back, and this is Baelish looks like the kind who will throw back, so she could take cover behind something like a wall, or I'm not exactly sure what the layout of.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you shoot out and you hit him in the shoulder. Everything kind of stops for a moment as Baelish. Oh, what in the hell? Who did that? And he looks and he says, Kurth, you've cheated. You've broken the one-on-one duel. He looks up. Kill the girl. And yelling to the water elemental, Warrendell, you're now up.
Oh, I am unmuted. All right. So Warren's going to take a basic 30-foot movement, just hauling ass across the top of this building. When he gets to the edge of it, his foot sort of rests right on the edge, and he just leaps forward. It's this, not that anybody can see him, but this impossible leap that he knows he won't make to the next building, but he's not worried about that. And he isn't trying to leap to land on his feet or anything. He hits the edge of this building, and he just thrusts himself forward, almost like he's going into a dive. He has one arm out kind of in front of him, like he's trying to block something, and the other one up in the air, sort of. With that, that should put me 30 feet from this water elemental.
Yep.
I want to cast Misty Step, which is going to throw me forward 30 feet, just a hair's breadth in front of this water elemental. My goal being to basically dive into this thing, by force shoving Lily out and me taking the place of her. But with that other hand that I have ready, I want to grab that bandana off of her head.
Ah!
Give that back. Perfect. Okay, interesting. What I am going to make you do at this point, since this is like some pretty epic but also very precise moving, is
inspiration. I will give it to him.
Yeah, no, this is dope. Hopefully it does work. The spell timing and precision that you need as the elemental and sunlit are very close to the edge. I'm going to say up to you. You can make an Arcana check to really concentrate on the Misty Step itself and like pinpointing where you come out, or like a basic acrobatics check, as you're basically gonna land on like the edge of the building and then have to punch in or like tackle into this water elemental.
Yeah. So when I leap off the building, I want to basically use the momentum to literally dive into it. Is my goal. All right. They're both the same either way, so I just go with Arcana to start. Let's see what I get. That's not good. I got some inspiration, so let me use mine first and see what we got. Let's go with acrobatics, just because maybe I'm a little luckier. Wow.
Oh God.
I have one left, so can I use it still?
You can only advantage once. But what I am going to say is you land, and yeah, it looks badass. But at the same time, you come in, and then as you bamf right in front of it and get ready to tackle, you lose that momentum, and you start to fall backwards, push yourself forward, and then tumble just in front of the water elemental instead of tackling into it. You've dropped prone, so I don't think you have any movement, or do you have regular movement left to get up?
I have 10 feet of fly movement.
Yeah, so technically you can, I guess, fly yourself back up out of, or I wouldn't. Yeah, no, you're stuck prone. All right, so yeah, you make it over there though, and it looks really cool, but at the same time, it's not enough to like tackle through. Unfortunately, your rolls have just decided that you don't get to be super epic awesome. I apologize. Octavius, you're engaged now with a pirate captain that looks to be the new king. You look around and see that other men are going to start to like come out and start fighting you also.
All right, so I'm going to use the opportunity of this scuffle that I'm in and the fact that I heard Baelish call off the one-on-one duel and pretend as though I'm being overtaken. So Octavius is going to stumble back, plant a hand on our what the fuck's his name? Our buddy Kurth. Our buddy Kurth. I'm going to place a hand on Kurth, almost like basically to hold me up, and I'm going to try to secretly heal him with my channel divinity and preserve life for 25 points of damage.
He is actually literally going to bash you away.
I thought since the fight was off and you wanted a chance to save her, you'd need some help. Shit.
So as you go up to him, he yells out, "I told you to leave me alone." And boof, slams his quarterstaff, and the ground begins to ripple around you. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Fine, I will. Ha.
You fall on your butt, but you still have your movement. You pick yourself back up, and you're like, "Holy fuck, this man is adamant about what he's doing right now." And he whispers to you and says, "Tell your friends to save Lily, please." And he's heavily breathing.
Yeah, Octavius would just save the girl, and then he would re-engage.
You can do a swinging attack if you want on one of the pirates, if since you basically don't get to heal. He stops you before you get to do it.
Yeah, I'll try to re-engage with the pirate that's trying to attack through me. I'll miss, but I'll use my body to block him from
All right.
moving forward.
Sunlit, you and the water elemental, and now as you see Livy turn and start to fire at Baelish, and then the water elemental is given the issue to kill Lily. You shit yourself because you think you have to fight a water elemental solo, but then poof, in comes Warrendale. Or I guess he's invisible, eh? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm still invisible.
You hear that and see a puff of smoke, but don't see anything actually. So you literally think you're alone fighting this water elemental, badly injured and exhausted.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, not to.
Give me a perception check, actually.
Well, that's something I'm really good at. Great.
Nice.
Thanks for stealing that 16 for me.
You hear, however, in the distance, the sound of how do I want to do this? Just a with a 21, you see 3 large wingspans in the sun.
It's our people. And that's good. Okay, so not to steal the idea that it seems as if Warren was going to try to do, but that was actually my exact idea as well. Is that I was going to try to tackle into this water elemental. And I have, maybe not theoretical, I have key empowered strikes now. So that means that any strike that I have is also considered magical at the same time.
Okay.
So I'd like to try to do a very similar thing, but I don't want to stay inside the elemental. I just want to dive out and even go off of the building and see if I can rip the little girl out of this elemental.
All right, so I'll definitely allow that, but essentially what it's going to take, because like going inside of a water elemental is actually like something that it can do, and it's not very easy to get out. So it's going to be one check to essentially tackle in, and then another check afterwards to be tackled out, and you're going against the creature.
Yeah, no, I fully understand. What I wanted to try to do.
Well, the good news is, before you actually get in the creature, you're rolling against a natural 20. So at least you're not going to be locked in. At least I got the natural 20 out on the first check. So what is your strength check? Because you're actually trying to grapple it. This is an athletics thing. It's not like it's a tackle essentially. So this is definitely not something you're doing acrobatically. You're just pounding into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. This is not really a thing, but whatever.
You got to beat a pretty high roll.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I have to roll natural 20 myself. So that's what I'm saying. I have to roll natural 20 myself to even remotely think this. Yeah, not going to happen.
Yeah, it just slashes you away at the water, and you fall down to the ground. And technically, you didn't steal Warrendale's idea because you don't see him trying to do it. So, as far as you know, it's your idea. Anything else on your turn, unfortunately? So yeah, that's basically your main action.
No, because all my bonus actions have to do with key points, and we don't have any right now.
Oh shit! All right, pirate captain fighting you, Octavius. Swing for a natural 20. Go ahead, Octavius. I'll actually just drop it on your character, and you take a total of. Wait, what? Holy crap! Did that knock you out? What is happening here? Oh, it made you make a Constitution saving throw. Well, where's the damage? I'm so confused. I don't think it did damage to you. Or did it? Do you know what your character's health was at before I did that? That was really weird.
It says it's at 26.
I think it's
that.
Doesn't look like it moved at all.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know why it made you make a con save, but there we go. That's right. Okay, that's the first attack. Second attack, a natural 19. So you take a total of 16 damage and are bloodied also, as this man says, "Get out of my way."
No.
No. In the distance, now that you've seen this sunlit, you hear again the squawk of a familiar griffin. And then you see the wingspan of Veltrax and Stewart, and then Screecher. And on the back of Screecher is Deshara, who you guys basically left at the stables many sessions ago, but in the grand scheme of things, a day ago. And she comes dropping in and she says, "Hey, hello there. I thought that all the ruckus would be you guys. Thought I'd bring some friends. Seems like you're getting yourselves into a lot of trouble." And Deshara begins to fly the three griffins towards you, Sunlit. But that's her whole turn. Libby.
Alright. We're going to just keep aiming at Baelish some more, just because.
You shot the elemental.
I don't think that from what I and Livy would be thinking, if she were to aim at the elemental, how is that going to help? Because it's this big watery thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, she can try and do a trick shot to, I don't know, catch whatever clothing article that might help propel her out of the elemental, but it just, for me and for her, it just doesn't really seem like the logical point. So we've got this other threat here.
Yeah, go for it.
So, there's a 22.
I'll do it.
And 17.
Double hits.
Excellent. We're doing lightning again for 8 and 8. So
16 more damage. Yeah, you guys 16. Wait. Okay, sorry. instead of 6 damage, I gave you 60 damage on the last turn. It's a little bit different. So that puts him at that instead, actually. 2 more powerful boof boof shock into him, and he says, "Hey, that's cheating. You're supposed to be on my side. Now I'm not going to heal your friend." And that's the end of him. He is running out of spells that he can drop on.
Oh,
Earth.
darn.
But at the same time, actually, if Kurth's just going to stand there and do nothing and Livy's going to actually shoot at him, he's like, all right, I'll take care of you first then, and then get back to you later, old man. And Livy, this guy's kind of good at casting spells.
Well, if you get into a questionable range of whether he'll hit her or not, I would like to cast Shield in reaction.
All right.
But it's clearly something that +5 is not going to help her with.
That's all right. He's rolled an 18, 2 19s, and a 20 for his last 4 rolls. So
don't worry. I'm going to make you do the rolling here, as I need a dexterity saving throw.
Yes!
I think Chris is stolen all my rolls.
So you can't shield then.
That's going to be a 14.
14?
So, I think I just missed.
Yeah, you did? Oh, that's not a thing.
Livy's passing out.
That's not a thing you wanted to miss. 35 damage as a lightning bolt in 100-foot
You want to play with lightning?
beam. Yeah. I'll show you true lightning powers. And 35 damage.
I'm pretty sure she is KO'd.
Yeah, you definitely are. All right. Now back to you, Karth. And next up is... Hold on, sorry. My bad. Had to sneeze. Next up is... he sees that the water elemental is getting ready to do something towards Livy. And he looks to Valish and says, I pity you. You could have been king if you just killed me. I was tired of this. But instead you went after her. And at that, he slams the ground and begins to split the earth itself as he casts from his glaive Earthquake. Everybody...
No, this can't turn out bad.
Everybody that's in this massive vicinity begins to... Holy fuck, this is a long... Dexterity saving throw. This is a paragraph of a spell.
When you say vicinity, I'm visioning Livy still like 120 feet away.
From him, I don't think so. And it says literally 100-foot circle. So this is massive.
Oh, okay. So then
I got a natural 1.
So I think we're too far away. We're 200 feet away.
yeah, we're over 200 feet away, right?
Well, you're 200 feet away from where you started, but he's in the center. So technically, if you guys are in the center of the thing, I think the building itself would be good. Or maybe you guys would be up and about, but the building it's that you guys are in are definitely in the thing's vicinity. And this thing essentially just destroys buildings like crazy.
Yeah.
So anyone who isn't flying right now, which is no one, make a dex save as the building begins to crumble. He literally just slams it into the ground and causes an earthquake that just rips out beneath Valish's feet. He kind of jumps out of the way. Let's actually make him make a save. He falls into the crack, and then it goes towards the building that Sunlit and Warren are on. You guys, Warrendell saves, Sunlit does not. So you fall prone And I believe you don't actually take any damage yet because you haven't fallen into a fissure, which will begin to open up as, let's see how many fissures open up. 7. Okay, this is just to say how deep it is. A 70-foot deep fissure opens up from where he cast the spell and heads towards the building, and it begins to crumble. You now know that the building that you guys are standing on is not going to be there for very long. It's going to start crumbling beneath you guys. The watermelon elemental up next reaches in to itself, pulls out Lily, and begin to try to choke her. Missing on its first attack, and then in basically frustration as she kind of comes out, and she's gagged, tied up, and bound by the foot and arms, the elemental just throws her off the multiple-story building, and she begins to sail through the air as Warrendale.
Okay.
What's that?
I was just gonna say in what direction, but if you got Warrendale covering it, that's awesome.
Yeah, Warrendale's up next.
Let me open this.
You see Lily get chucked by the elemental, and you guys are actually about like three stories high, and you see her sailing through the air, bound.
All right. Is this something that I can reach if I jump and try to grab her, or is it further than that? Did it like hurl her basically?
He threw her. Let's make a little strength check. He's very strong, and she's pretty light. So he threw her 20 feet away from you.
All right, so me jumping and catching her just off the edge or whatever isn't feasible. All right, so
I can do that.
Well, so can I technically, but all right. So let's hopefully do this again. I have 2 Misty Steps left, so I will bonus action to cast a Misty Step to try and go out to wherever it is I need to be to catch her.
Poof! You just go out and you're in the middle of air now. You can easily do that 20 feet away.
All right. And with that, I don't know if I need to do a sleight of hand or something, but I want to grab that bandana because I need it really bad.
All right.
Give me the damn bandana, girl, if you want to live.
All right.
Hurry up.
She's gagged, but doesn't say anything. Yeah, let's say. I guess this makes sense that it's just like a sleight of hand check.
Before I hit the ground, basically. Because it has levitate or feather fall. Either one I can use. So, let's see. Skills. Sleight of hand. Okay, at least I'm good at that. Bam.
You got it. Rip it off of her head.
One of that.
And with that, I'll activate. Actually, levitate because I don't want to fall into a fissure. That way we can just kind of hover there for the moment. And since I cast Misty Step, I'm just going to move with my fly ability there 10 feet away and just levitate for the moment.
But you're still invisible, right?
Yes.
Because Misty Step's not a concentration.
Yeah. So yeah, literally, Lily just gets chucked in the air, a puff of smoke on the building, which probably just could be chalked up as debris, and then suddenly she's just floating in the air with the bandana actually just disappears. So she's just seemingly floating there.
It's okay, Livy. I got you.
All right, that's it for you, eh?
Yep.
Do you unbind her at all? Because her mouth is basically.
I figured I probably wouldn't have time yet. That'd be my goal next time around. Yeah, but.
All right, Octavius, you're battling.
All right. Well, I failed that dexterity save, so I'm sure I fell down. But
you fell into a fissure, actually. That's way more fun. Let me pull that back up. Sorry, I lost my fissure. I'm actually not super familiar.
70 feet, you said.
Yep.
I fell down 70 feet.
Let me just make sure that that's how the spell works, but I'm pretty sure you're falling pretty deep. So when you cast a spell at the end of each turn, concentrating it, each creature on the ground must make dexterity saving throws. At the end of each... Okay, so at the end of your turn, you got to try to stay up again. And fissures open up, blah, 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 and extend... Yeah, so you fell into a deep ass fissure, and I guess you're taking some fissure damage. Here we go. You are taking exactly 20 damage.
Okay. I am amazingly bloody. Spewing. Blood is actually spewing down my face, through my ears, out my eyes, my nose, my mouth. I'm slowly trying to push myself up. Pain and exhaustion are setting in. Bones broken. Crying almost in pain. Loving every minute of it. I'm going to cast... I'm going to actually use my Preserve Life then on myself, since I wasn't able to use it on our buddy Kurth, and I'm going to heal myself for 25 points of damage.
Nice.
At which point I'm going to actually attach, if you're cool with this, I'm going to attach my hempen rope to an arrow and fire my crossbow 50 feet above me into the rock, hopefully to stick in, so that I can at least climb up 50 feet easily through the fissure, hopefully on my next turn.
All right. Interesting. I'll say yeah, but you gotta try to hit the rock.
I'm going to attack the rock with my light crossbow.
It's more just to find like a nice purchase in it.
The 21.
Yep, I'll do it. Fling, and you gotta climb to do. Apparently, this spell is nasty. Jesus.
Yeah. I'm gonna start climbing out of the fissure for my first 30 feet of movement.
And then at the end of your turn, you're gonna make a dexterity saving throw because the world itself is quaking, and you gotta see if you fall.
Well, I'd like, since I was able to set up the hempen rope, will you at least give me an advantage on that
one? Let me see here. You didn't say that you tied yourself. You just said you shot a rope. So I'm gonna say not advantage, but you do have inspiration that you can technically burn if you need to roll an advantage. That's what it's there for.
Okay, I'll accept your negativity. Oh, right on.
Hey, nice. Yeah, you hang on for dear life as you're being like swayed around, and it seems like the world itself is beginning to crumble under Kurth's ability. Sunlit. You feel the building beneath you starting to crumble. You see Lily magically floating. You have this girl's apparently a wizard too. Everyone's a wizard here today.
No, she knows what's up. He said he was going to do it. So they had a quick conversation, and he asked if she wanted to be invisible, and she said, "I move so fast that I already am." Yeah. So it's got to be him. So all right. What is happening to this building? Is it breaking to the point that I could make it so the water elemental would take fall damage?
Yeah, it is breaking in two. By next turn, it is gonna or by the end of this turn, it's gonna start crumbling.
All right. So I would like to do a kind of a two-step-ish thing.
Oh boy, let's see it.
I would like to push the water elemental towards the fissure that's being created by the building, because the buildings are cracking in two because of the fissure, right?
Yep.
Ish type deal thing.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I would like to push the water elemental towards that. So first off, it has to fall through the building before it falls on the ground. Is her thought process, and it will get more injured that way. But then I also want to fall off the building.
You want to fall
on
off
purpose.
Okay.
Because I have slow fall, and I'm going to take 35 less fall damage.
Cool. Let me put it to you like this though, because I'm looking at the water elemental, and technically I guess this isn't a grapple, right? Because the pushing isn't actually an attack. So yeah, you can try to shove it, but you're contesting it, and I believe you have to do an athletics check to shove. Because when you're the aggressor, it's athletics, and then the responder can do acrobatics.
Either, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was just gonna like fucking drop kick it, like WWE style.
Yeah, maybe you're right, actually. Maybe I still think that would be strength based though.
Yeah, but it's still really athletic. Anyways, whatever. And this thing's big, strong, fucking.
Yeah, this is a big, strong boy.
I know he is.
Didn't roll so bad.
Oh yeah, it wasn't above 18 this time.
No, it's definitely above 18.
No, I mean the actual roll.
Yeah, or no, the actual roll wasn't above 18.
No, I just do that, and I just bounce off his ass and fall off the ground.
Yeah. So you want to fall?
I want to fall off the building.
All right. So yeah, you just say, "All right, I'm not moving this thing," and then.
But I want to jump and fall in a way that I'm not going to fall in the fissure.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Well, I got a plan for you instead, actually, because technically up next is Veltrex. So how do you feel about jumping off the building dramatically and then Veltrex swooping down and grabbing you on its back?
I don't have any issue with that at all.
I was gonna say it, but probably don't think you do.
No, I don't have any issue with that at all. Because she's not in great shape. I probably, what I mean. I don't know what the fall. I don't even know what fall damage is, but I can, like I said, I could. It's 5 times my level, so it's 35 less damage. So I was thinking I'd probably survive.
Yeah. Deshara and the Griffin crew show up. Literally, the Griffin cavalry have arrived, and she looks and says, "You're looking rather beat up. Looks like we just made it just in time."
There, Deshara. Do you have something? Can you attack something, please?
Yeah. How about they'll synchronize, begin to turn, and go and start to attack, clawing at the bad barnacle pirate or barnacle wizards and begin hucking them off the side of the building. I forgot about the pirate captain that was fighting Dan, so let's see if he fell in the crack with you, Octavios. He did not. He's waiting up there, and he is going to go, now that you're out of the way, and try to attack Kurth. Swinging, missing, swinging, hitting. Kurth gets stabbed in the back. This 7-foot-tall monster of a man that has just taken an onslaught of spells. And now, as you see this pirate captain, this eager man to move up the chain, slash him in the back of himself with this tiny scimitar. It looks like a toothpick in comparison now, as Kurth stands up tall and strong and sees Lily floating there, safe. And he will act shortly. Lily is now up and no longer grappled by the thing, so she's going to try to shimmy her way out of the gag that she has around her, but does not do so. Libby, what's up?
Did Valish, did he fall into the crack?
No, he saved. He rolled that was one of the very first things there.
Yeah, that was fine.
Livy.
Rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10?
So one save, right?
Sorry, you rolled what? You cut out on me.
I rolled a 10. So that's
10,
save, right?
10 is definitely a fail. You are further away though, so you're not by the fissure, so you're at least not falling in. But I will.
That's a death save, isn't it?
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And you're on top of a building. Oh God. This is going to be bad.
Yeah.
All right. Valish is up. And yikes, that's going to be interesting for you, Livy.
And none of us really know that that's happened.
That's okay.
Well, I imagine some of you definitely would. She's been firing at Valish instead. But let's see what happens. Let's play it out.
You may have noticed that lightning bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Now Livy's no
Technically-
longer there.
Technically, Livy is the reason that this entire earthquake is now happening because she shot Valus, who told Lily to get killed, which then provoked Kurth. So it's within reason that everyone would know where Livy is to a certain degree.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he is going to Burning Hands Kurth. Trying to finish him once and for all. I apparently don't know how to speak. Kurth fails. He's running out of high level spells though, at least. And Kurth is badly injured, but he is now no longer going to sit back and say, he actually is going to stand back. He looks up and he says, Lily, I'm sorry. I think you'll make a good queen, though. And he is going to spend his turn concentrating on ending the earthquake because he looks around and sees hundreds of his men now in danger, some of them falling into the earthquakes that he has created. And a actual personality trait of this man is that his crew is his family.
Awesome.
So awesome for nobody, really, but I appreciate the sarcasm. Water Elemental is going to make a save. Natural 20. This is a ninja water elemental as he begins to carry his way down the breaking building. It's actually going to... Does it have range? Does it have range? It doesn't have range. What is it going to do? It's just stuck on the falling building. I don't even know. Slowly make its way down the crumbling building as interesting. Deshara, now up on the back of the griffins, is going to say, where are the rest of your friends?
And as I am on the back of Veltrex, I would point in the direction that Livy is.
And she rolled a 19 on her perception and begins to point out unconscious Livy. She's over there, and will use her griffin riding ability to command all the griffins on their turns, or on her turn, to begin flying in that direction. Warrendale, you're up. You're floating.
If I can go, am I over top of the earthquake area? Like if I float down to a building and then try and get her out of there to ungag her and stuff, is it safe where I'm at, or should I move first?
You're literally just floating in the middle of the sky, so there's no buildings that threaten to fall on top of you. They're all just basically crumbling downwards.
And what are they all underneath me? Like if I just float down, will I end in a building that's safe or no?
If you float down, you'll literally land in the arena, the makeshift arena with the big crevasse opened up in it.
I don't want to do that, so I will just use the 20 feet of fly that this pendant gives me as a standard action. Oh, but then I won't fall because I have levitate. So in this case, so yeah, I'll just keep flying until I can get to a safe space with her, basically.
Yeah, Lily's like kicking and fidgeting and just looking.
If I can gag her or something, I will. I just didn't know if.
Yeah, that's a free action.
All right, then yeah, I would do that. And
all right. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, just trying to get her somewhere safe, basically.
All right. Octavius, hanging on the rope. 15. You got a bit. I guess you didn't start climbing yet, eh? So yeah, you're fine now. Or did you start climbing?
Yeah, I went up by 30 feet of movement.
Up by 30. Okay.
I think I got 40 feet left.
Yeah, actually, you can only move 15 feet at a time because you don't have a climb speed, so it's difficult terrain for you.
Oh,
so you're actually 15 feet.
Did I get any advantage at all trying to use that rope with the arrow?
Yeah, you basically have a much easier time climbing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna not make you make acrobatics checks anymore. You just climb up, but you're still climbing and you don't have a climb speed. So you can dash climb and climb up 30, which then puts you a total of 45 up and essentially a little more than halfway.
Yeah, if I go 45 up, how far away am I from Lily? She was still above me while I went down to help with Karth.
Lily or Livy?
Livy, sorry.
Livy is on a crumbling building, unconscious, about 3 stories above you, and then you're also down, so she's pretty dang far away.
It's like 75 feet, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just dash up as fast as I can.
All right.
And then when I get to 45 feet, I will I guess I can't really do anything. I'll just hang out and just keep climbing as fast as I can.
All right. Give me a. Oh no, the spell ended. So yeah, there's no more quaking. He ended it as his action. So you don't have to make the saves anymore. At least Sunlit, you're riding now on Veltrex majestically. You see Livy unconscious on a building that looks like it's about to probably start falling on her turn.
Yeah, so I just looked it up. Griffins have 80 feet of fly movement.
Yeah, they're fast.
She's less than 160 feet from me, right?
Yeah, she's less than 80 feet from you.
Okay, so I'm gonna move the 80 feet, and I would like for Veltrex to just pick her up with with her feet.
All right.
And we try to do that. No, you can roll for that, but it's got a strength of 18.
Yeah, no, it picks her up. Fine.
Yeah.
She's just she's still death saving, unfortunately, but
Yeah, absolutely. And there's not much that I can do about that. But we fly down to. Well, actually, we're just kind of floating there.
yeah, well, not technically floating because you can't really float, but you're gliding towards a destination.
We're gliding, but we're gliding away from where the battlefield is.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to let her off and then figure something out. You know what I mean? But
yep, got you.
I don't want her to put her in the middle of the battle so somebody shoots her and kill her.
All right, that seems like a good idea. Next up is Lily, who's ungagged, and she finally takes a deep breath of air and says, what is she gonna say? So many things, but at the same time, she only has 6 seconds. So she says, "Hey, I was flying by myself." And you're still invisible, right?
Yep.
So she's like, "I don't know who you are, ghost, but put me down," or something like that. And then she actually looks out and sees what's going on between, or actually she's seen it all along, but she looks to and just screams out at the top of her lungs, "Karth!" He looks up and she looks to him and says, "You dirty piece of shit old man. How dare you be a bastard and let that bitch-ass wizard slap you around? I'm the one that's going to kill you, you piece of shit. Now fight back so that I can become queen the rightful way. Quit being a pansy. I don't forgive you," she says, tears kind of streaming out of her eyes. "I'm going to be the one that kills you." And that's her turn. Livy, you're death saving.
Come on. That's a 6. So.
Oh, 1 fail, 1 success.
What?
Right? 1 fail, 1 success.
Was the 10 a success?
Yeah, 10's a success.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard nope, that's a fail. So cool.
Sorry. Yeah, when I heard 10 at first, I thought you were 10 for dexterity saving throw,
Oh,
not
okay.
for living.
Okay. Cool. Then yes. 1 fail, 1 save.
All right. Valish, who's up and sees this going down, says, "You hear that? Kurth, even she hates you, the one that you'd give your life up for. Here, let me make things simple for you. And Warrendell, you see him point his hands up in the sky towards Lily, but inevitably you at the same time. And he is going to start to cast Lightning Bolt. Now, you don't think that Lily, as a little 13-year-old girl, can survive that. It'll probably just insta-kill her. But I'll say, if you want to, you can basically roll, you can auto-fail and block her from taking the damage.
Yeah, I would do that.
It's up to you. Unless you have something else. You might have counter spell or something.
Oh, my hit points ain't great. Well, I don't have any counter spell aspects, but I am resistant to lightning.
Oh, interesting. So you might be fine.
But I only have 20 hit points to share at the moment.
Probably not fine. It's up to you. Like, you don't. I was just imagining that you would probably not let, after all the rookie you went through.
I would do it regardless. Is Lightning Bolt a attack spell?
It's a save on your end.
Save. Okay. Yeah, I would do it anyway. So.
Yeah.
Oops, I need my save though. So I need a dex save. Well, let's see what I get here first.
All right, and since you're blocking her, roll at disadvantage. Actually, we'll say.
Can I use my inspiration point to just take that 16?
Yeah, you can actually.
Yeah,
now, let's cool. So you do save. His save is, what is it? Doesn't actually say. What the heck? Blah blah blah. Let's just figure it out. Intelligence 3. Use that. So 6, and you rolled a 16. Yeah, you actually are fine.
All right. I will still take half damage, don't I? I believe.
Yeah.
And then that'll be halved again. So I take only a quarter.
All right. So yeah, you take half of 30 damage.
So 15, and then half again.
Yep.
So 7, I guess. I don't know how I can change it in mine.
Yep, that's fine.
Or 8, I guess it would be actually. So 23. 8. So yeah, I'll change that. If I can do math. So I'm at 31. All right. Oh, it won't let me change it on my end, but never mind. I got it. You're good.
Got it? Okay. All right. Kurth is now up, bleeding profusely and on the brink of death. Valish has made a critical error in the regards of dropping his attention from Kurth now. He's just expectedly got used to the old man not fighting back. And you've seen this guy who seems to struggle like he's moving and heavily breathing on, like, he's just literally like this muscular old man on the brink of death at all times, it seems. But he smiles when Lily says this. And then with a speed that you did not think this old man can do, dashes across the battlefield and stabs into Valish's back. He hits him. Oh, did I just do something cool there? How did I do that? And does 23 damage with just the glaive. Valish just sees it come through him and kind of coughs up blood, turns around, and looks shocked and frightened. And then with that, he is going to use his other action to begin to cause a tremor from the glaive that is now penetrating through Valish. That is going to matter on his turn. Water Elemental is just water elementaling its way down. I'm just going to say that with a lot of people dying, that the water elemental doesn't really have anyone controlling it anymore. and it just basically turns into a puddle. Warrendale, you're up now.
Has this earthquake stopped for me to get
Yeah,
her down safely?
Yeah, it's completely stopped. He spent an action ending it. The damage is done, and the buildings are still crumbling, but the quake itself is no longer getting worse.
All right. I'm going to assume at least there's a safe place on the ground or something, though, even if there's...
Yeah, definitely.
So I would just use my action to lower myself down and put her down. Is there a building within range that is not crumbling that I can put her on so she doesn't haul ass and try to be the hero? Because I know she'd probably take off and...
Yeah.
Actually, I would just go down to the ground. I'm going to get rid of my invisibility then at that point. I'd probably be getting close to being done anyway.
Yeah.
And just have a holdover. I wouldn't be able to do anything else that round, though, because it'd take my return to move. So, yeah.
She looks kind of surprised. Wanda, I didn't know zombies could fly.
Zombies can do a lot of things, girl. Just stay out of this for the moment.
And she's giving you a look like, yeah, definitely.
I'm not letting go of her.
Yeah, you got her. Octavius, you are 45 feet up the 70-foot embankment. I'm sorry to throw you down there. That's kind of a spell, but
just the fun of it. I'm gonna crawl up 15 feet, and then I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word directed at Livy's area.
Do you have to see her? I imagine you do.
I don't believe so. Let me just check.
Or she has to hear you, which
6 creatures of my choice. Doesn't say anything about seeing them or hearing them.
Let me look it up. Because that just seems weird to me. But
all right, put it in the chat.
Yep, I got it. As you call out words of restoration, 6 creatures that you can see
of your choice.
Yeah, you can't see her right now. You're still in the hole.
I can't see her. She's only 30 feet away.
You don't really know where she is, right? Because she was dead on the building, and then which you couldn't necessarily see. And then the Griffins came and grabbed her, and
I forgot about that. Okay.
Flown away with her. So yeah, you don't know where she is.
Oh, I forgot about the Griffins. You're right.
Yep.
Damn it. All right. Well, then I'll dash and I'll go up another 30 feet. So now I'm outside of the hole, I would imagine.
Yeah, you pull yourself out now for sure.
All right, and then I face the dude the pirate that wanted to be king. He's probably within the next 15 feet of me, so I'll just brace myself and then that's it.
Yeah, he's currently stabbing into Curse right now, who hasn't dealt with him yet. But Sunlight, you got Livy, and you can glide down to a safe area now if you wish to.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And
Veltrex bows and lets you off abidingly.
I don't think I do that. I think that I let Livy off onto the ground. And how far away are we from Bailiff?
Depending on how far you flew away. You said you wanted to fly her away from the battlefield, so I imagine you spent a pretty decent amount of movement flying away from the battlefield.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So she does do that. I do get off of her back, and am I 160 feet away from that?
I mean, like probably around over 100 feet for sure.
All right. I am going to move like lightning again and get myself into the fight with Baelish.
All right. You cover the distance?
I cover the distance easily. But because I had to double dash to be able to do that, I don't have an action.
One thing you will do is you see that as you get, how close do you get to him? Like right up to him?
I get...
because you can move 160. So yeah, like basically I'm asking, do you get in melee range with him or do you stay at a distance? You see that the glaive has penetrated through his chest, and it, as you look at it, it seems to be like vibrating so intensely that you can actually see like wavelength energy emanating from it, and Valus looks like he is not in a good amount of enjoyment right now. You feel the ground and look and see that rocks are beginning to tremble around him again, and you fear that maybe Kurth is going to cause another quake or something.
All right, yeah. So she understands what this weapon does because she's seen it happen. I am actually going to bypass that and go for. I want to get in the face of that dude that is trying to hurt Kurth.
Okay, so the pirate captain.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
All right, so you impose on him.
Yeah, I impose on him.
All right, he's up next. So with you imposing, then he goes for you. Get out of my way. This is my one shot. And swing, miss. Swing. 20 to hit, not natural.
Yeah, it hits.
Only 5 damage.
And then I can't evade. So it's like 3 or whatever. You know, wait, no, that's not evasion doesn't work like that. That is a saving throw thing. So yeah, so 5. I take 5 damage.
All right, you take 5 damage.
You gave that. Did you give that to me?
Yeah, I gave it to you. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's all good.
You good.
I take the 5.
All right. Next up is Lily. Guess what she's gonna try to do, Morgan? Give me a contest.
Are her hands and feet still bound?
Oh yeah, they are technically. So yeah, she's not going anywhere. She starts cursing you out though. Untie me, you stupid zombie asshole. This is my fight. Let me go, you piece of shit. She's just completely changed.
Just lie there.
Dirty
Go,
little
be quiet.
this little girl.
Yeah, she has a very foul mouth. And Libby, oh god, good luck. Just don't roll a 1.
She already made 1 save, so she's one of the good.
She's made 1 fail too.
Oh, did she?
You good? 2 successes, 1 fail.
16 on this roll.
16. Livy is bleeding out on the ground, unconscious, but for now she keeps a bit of her consciousness.
Hey, can I slightly retcon and have Bellatrix kind of shadow over her?
Yeah, that's what I imagined that Veltrex was doing, since you said you just left her there.
Yeah.
Valish, trembling from the glaive penetrated through his chest, looks up at Kurth and just begins to wince in pain. He has to actually make a save right now. Oh my god, he rolled a nat 1. So he goes to reach out and cast a spell and say that if I'm gonna go down, you're going with me, Kurth. And then he goes to cast a spell. But then Kurth looks at him smiling and just says, I'm sorry, old friend. Sorry I didn't remember who you were. And just poof, charges up the Kurth's Fury is what the weapon's called, and literally just explodes Valish. He's super dead. Next up is Deshara. I guess she'll make a medicine check on you, Livy, since she was kind of with the gang. 10. So you're stabilized. Warrendale.
With this guy dying, what's going on? Has that changed anything? I mean, I know it's almost instantaneous, but just like everybody stop and look, or
yeah, a lot of people have stopped fighting when the earthquake started happening, and like literally just survival kicked in because like he was literally collapsing the area around the entire city. So like most people had to stop fighting, and then as a couple of seconds have passed by, and then they've seen Kurth take action now, exploding a man with his weapon. Everyone's all kind of just stopped in silence.
Warren will look at this little girl, foul-mouthed little brat that she is, cursing him out, and back at Kurth. I'm going to cut her binds and let her go.
Interesting. You cut them.
Assuming that, she's not like running into like pirates that are going to kill her. But
no, she looks like she's going to head towards Kurth.
Right. Yeah. I'll be following right behind her, but yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, he has his own reasons for it, so yeah. He's not going to let anything happen to her, though.
Yeah. I won't show you. A pirate comes and chops her head off.
Yes.
No. I don't know what you have invested in it, but I know what you're saying, so yeah, that's fine. Octavius.
All right, at this point, I will run towards Kurth and Lily, Warrendale, and Sunlit. And now that I can see them, and I'm imagining I run 30 feet, I get another 60 feet for a healing word. I'm going to try to cast mass healing word on the group of them.
What's the range on? You have to see them.
60 feet.
Okay. Interesting.
Is there enough distance? Did I cover enough distance? Because I know I'm pretty far away, and Kurth had to dash to get there.
I just know that the only thing I'm struggling to think about is that Livy is 100 feet away.
Well, Livy's not going to be in the healing.
Oh, sorry, Lily, not Livy.
Oh.
Confusing. That's my bad. Yeah. So yeah, everyone that you want to heal is able to be healed.
And they all get 6 healing.
All right.
That's a bonus action, so I'm going to whip out my light crossbow, and I'm going to fire off a bolt at the Pirate King.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know if that hits.
You miss.
All right. Yeah.
Sunlit.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, but I bet you I don't miss. Well, hopefully. I'm gonna come in with the sharp end of the comma whip and go to town on this guy with 2 actions. $12. That misses, doesn't it?
Yep, it does.
Yeah, I have a point of inspiration. I'm gonna burn it there.
Okay. Burn away.
19 hits, I'm assuming.
Yes.
All right, so there's the first attack for 7, and then I go for my extra attack.
Okay.
Which is also 19.
I guess that will do it if the first one did.
We'll just home so's. Oh man, come on, dice.
All right, yeah, you the dice are kind of chilling you, but you whip and whip again, kind of knocking. I'm gonna just say you literally knocked the sword out of his hand, and he looks around and sees the current status of everything, and he sees that Kurth is up and fighting back, and begins to question whether it actually is his time to become king, or maybe he'll wait a couple more years for Kurth to get a bit older. And
I believe it would be a good idea to stand down, my friend.
He is looking at you, and on his turn disengages and runs away as fast as he can.
Okay.
Yeah. He just bolts it, turns 180 turn, and runs off into the crowd. Lily is up. She runs across the battlefield to where Kurth is now sitting or standing. Valish exploded. A huge quake chasm opened up from Kurth's fury, his glaive that he wields 70 feet deep. And she runs along it and comes up behind him. Kurth actually now falls to his knees as he had literally only 15 HP left.
And now he's got 21. So
Yeah, exactly. And Lily runs in front of him and just looks at him. What the hell is that all about? I'm talking to you, old man. I hate you more than anything. You killed my parents. Why would you throw away your life for me? He can't meet eye contact with her. He just looks down, and his face is kind of shadowed by the way the light is hitting it. Rubble kind of all around him. His men and the opposing faction all picking themselves up and watching this unfold. And he smiles. You got an annoying voice, twerp. Well, this is your chance. You always said you'd be the one to do it. Now do you got the balls? She pulls up her dagger, shaking, and holds it to his throat. One more round of initiative before anything goes on, just to see if anybody wants to do anything to interfere or say, because this is just basically two NPCs talking. Livy, you're unfortunately unconscious, but stabilized, so you ain't really doing anything. Warrendale, what are you doing?
I was following up along. Does he have a hold of his glaive?
He's kind of holding it, yeah.
Okay.
But he's kneeled down now, and his face is just looking down.
No, that's fine. I would move up behind her to protect her from any of the trolling pirates or anything like that, but no, I wouldn't get involved.
Octavius?
Look to Lily and say, Lily, that's a mighty nice looking glaive there. A little big for you, but, you know, just saying. I'd be about it.
Kurth says, I will literally explode you into 1,000 pieces if I hear your voice one more time. I told you not to heal me. And you're not doing anything? Sunlit, do you do anything?
No, she kind of just stands off to the side and the realization that this may be her fate kind of comes across to her again, and she waits to see what happens.
All right. Then back to them, and since nobody's doing anything, they're just going to play it out.
Yeah.
She looks to him and says, quit being a piece of shit, you old pansy man. You smell like ass, and you look even worse. You're supposed to be Kurth, the king of the pirates, the king of the sails. You almost got yourself killed by a wizard. A shitty looking ugly one too, with fucking barnacles growing all over his face. What kind of king is that? He says, Lily, listen. I know how you feel about me. Nobody hates me more than myself. Your father and your mother, they gave everything for me to be here today. I've held my end of the bargain. You don't need me anymore. You never did. I wasn't man enough to admit it then, but I am now, on my last days. I think you'd be a good queen. You really got to work on that mouth of yours, though. It's quite unladylike. Now do it. She holds the dagger to his throat. What do you mean? My father and my mother gave you everything. You stabbed them in the back. And it unfolds the story that I've told you guys again. I'm not going to repeat it, but he basically tells her.
I think Sunlight would interject in the middle of that and says, "That's not the way the story went, and you may need a little guidance if you're going to be the queen of all of this." She just shakes her head a little bit.
Guidance from him, that old stinking man. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna have my own crew. I'll be a way better pirate than he ever could be. Kurth kind of laughs. Lily, you're a shit pirate. But I think you'd make a good queen of the city. Listen. There's one thing that your father and your mother taught me. It's that family is more important than anything. Not just blood family, but all family. The crew that I made, as they all now are standing up and surrounding around him defensively, are all family to me. And as are you. If you kill me now, I won't blame you. I'd almost be thankful. But if you do forgive me here for not being able to save your parents, then I would like you to join my family. And there's a dramatic moment where she thinks about killing him, but then gives in, dropping her weapon, breaking down in tears, both of them. They run and they hug each other. It's happy. It's sappy. And then Kurth picks himself up, Lily in one arm, and walks over to you, Sunlit, and says, well, your wizard friend isn't going to be curing you anytime soon. Yeah. What are you going to do about it?
I don't think he was my friend. But I like what you said, and even that one that right there, they're also my family. We'll figure this out. We seem to always do. But I think overall there might be a bigger problem because, again, I think whoever talked meat or whatever, that guy that we broke in half in your bar, may have had contact with the man that did this to me. And not that I don't think that they can fix me either, but...
Oh, I can fix you.
What?
If you're strong enough to survive it. You ain't gonna like it.
I answer to a much higher power than all of that.
Octavius will look at Sonny and nod. You're strong enough. I'll make sure of it.
It's, I think I'd like to take that chance, sir, Mr. Kurth.
In a sharp movement, as soon as you say that, he stabs you with the glaive.
What?
And runs you right through.
I'll use my
blood
ring of suffering to take any pain.
Blood comes.
You can't, dude.
Blood comes shooting out of your mouth as you take a total of 40 damage.
Yeah, which will make her unconscious.
You fall unconscious, and you just literally see blackness kind of overtake you, and you go back to that horrible nightmare, as this is the first time you've actually slept in a while, and you're drowning. And again, you're in the ocean, and you see the horrible entity that is Slarkerthal coming for you. But then everything begins to shake and tremble. The water itself begins to gyrate, and then Kurth channels the weapon again and does 30 more damage.
It doesn't put me over.
And then channels it again
What?
and does 30 more damage.
Which does put me over and would kill me.
Everybody else watches this as what he literally just did to Vailish explode him into pieces. He now seemingly is beginning to do to Sunlit. She falls unconscious on the glaive, and you see her body begin to shake and quiver. Does anybody do anything?
Yeah, I'll do whatever I possibly can that Kurth allows me to do. And
Kurth holds up his hand and says, if you do anything, then it will mean nothing.
I'll drop to my knees and pray.
And after channeling it and literally outright killing Sunlit, she begins to leak water out of her mouth. More and more of it. And then it literally becomes a point where water, like it's almost like a tap has been turned on out of her mouth. And it just is endlessly pouring and slopping down into a puddle. And then that puddle begins to spin and turn serpent-like. And this horrible creature that was living inside of her, it comes in like toothy, watery maw, begins to growl and hiss. And Kurth pulls out the glaive and then stabs it into it and just poof, causes a shockwave. And it blasts into like evaporation, essentially. He looks to you, Octavius, and says, well, you've been itching to do something all fight. Now's your chance.
Spare the dying.
She's already dead.
Well, then I'm going to have to revivify.
Do you have the spell slot to do it?
Yeah, I do.
That sounded really confident. You do?
I had to count, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
My last fucking spell slot for level 3, but yeah.
Then, Sunlit. Actually, let's say Octavius. What does it look like as you see Sunlit dead on the ground?
As I lean over Sunlit, her body limp, her eyes wide awake, wide open. I'll lean over and I'll use my hand to close her eyes as I slowly wipe it down her face. And then you'll see a bright light start to shine from Octavius. And as the light starts to concentrate, you'll see the light slowly move down through his chest, down his arms, through his elbows, through his forearms, through his hands, and into Sunlit. And Octavius's skin will turn a few shades grayer, as you can tell that he's actually taken some of his life force and given it to Sunlit. And hopefully she gasps for air.
Sunlit, you gasp for air.
Can I have an RP moment real quick?
What's that?
Can I have an RP moment real quick?
Yeah.
All right. So, in the blackness, she doesn't know the water's coming out of her because she can't see herself, obviously. So, everything gets really, really dark, and she feels as she's drowning again, and she sees the entity. But then in her peripheral, she sees the two goddess sisters in which she follows, Sulain and Suin. They are the goddesses of both the light and the dark. And Suin puts her hand on Sunlit's face And in the visage in which she sees herself, she's still a dark-colored tabaxi, but she knows in reality she's a white-colored tabaxi. And all of that energy of light goes into her, and it changes that visage in her mind as well into a white tabaxi with black spots instead of white, instead of black spot, light colored spots. And the two goddesses just kind of look at each other. Not that they get along all the time, because they're the opposite of each other. And they just nod their head at her. And Serene says, "It's not your time, my friend." And that's when she gasps.
Come back to. Kurth looks down at you. Told you weren't gonna like it.
Guess it's a good thing that I'm not kind of a normal style monk and have some divinity on my side. And this guy. And she points up very weakly to Octavius. You said you'd never let me die. And you haven't. But I think that my gods, they know that's still my time, and it's... And she passes out.
As sunlight looked up to Octavius, she would see gray hairs starting to form on his head. And she would see wrinkles on his face that weren't there before, as he would definitely look at least 10 years older, like the world had beat him down a little bit more.
And that, unless anyone else wants to say anything, is where we'll end it.
You might want to go heal Livy real quick.
Like, I'll just have to remember for next time. Livy's still just passed out.
Yeah. No, we're gonna, now that we probably next session we're gonna jump ahead a bit. This has been a bit of an offspring side shooting session, but I think next session we'll probably discuss it in chat, but we'll jump past and just kind of montage and summarize the formalities, unless you guys have any major things you want to iron out here. And then finally,
I don't think I'm getting that staff, am I?
you can try to fight Kurth right now if you want.
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
All right.
Yeah. Mess up.
All right, so yeah, thanks for watching, anybody. Thanks for playing, guys. It's always fun. Sorry we went a little later than normal, but I really just wanted to get past this area so that we can finally start moving forward. And now I'm going to tell you all, I don't know how long it's been since you've actually leveled, but hey, let's take level 8, I think. That sounds cool. Woo! And we will start hightailing it now to the final couple of chapters, I think, is a good time to start doing that stuff. So cheers, guys. We'll discuss all this later on out of game. And until next time, peace out.